Transitioning
Ready
over.
when you are.
And we're back.
We are back. All right. So tonight's episode of the actual play showcase from Metagamers Anonymous, we're welcoming special guest James from the 1D4 cast here with us tonight.
Woohoo!
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? He's
I'm
already walked us through.
nervous, but I'm good.
That's fair. That's fair. Already walked it unnecessary, but very fair. Already walked us through character creation, and so if you want to check that out, the details of the process that we went through are available on another video, which is somewhere over there.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, this is
Somewhere
a
over there.
very custom modular game. So there are elements in this game that I'm running that you may never touch if you buy this yourself and do other things. So
That's Cortex Prime
yes.
system. So let's go ahead and proceed. Back to you. Give it to you, sir.
All right.
Feel free.
So this is Paris, France, 1640. We are on the, well, actually, I guess it's 1639. We're at the New Year's, the cusp of the New Year's Eve. So it's almost 1940. King Philip is reigning in Spain. King Philip IV, and King Louis the 13th is reigning in France, and Queen Anne is his wife. Cardinal Richelieu is the first minister of the king's court.
The first villain.
Well,
Well,
in
he's
the
probably
books,
not
he's made out to be a villain.
Probably not
but-
the first villain of the king's court, but he is, as
Yeah.
opposed to the second villain in the king's court, he's the
That's
first
right.
villain.
That's right. So that's about as historical as this game gets. Everything else is pretty much made up.
Works for me.
So
I'm not
with
brushed up on
that-
my 17th century French history. So
I know.
The
Even
chat
though
room is banging right now.
I looked at Wikipedia this afternoon. That's about as far as I got.
Nice.
All right. So again, it is December 30th of 1639 in Paris, France, and it is a very cold night. There's a lot of revelry going on. Not to be too cliche, but the Musketeers hung out in taverns, because where else are you going to get a good drink and maybe find someone to spend the evening with? So that is currently where you guys are. Unbeknownst to you, in the night sky, there is something flying across the heavens and lands right outside of the city in a nearby forest. There's very much commotion outside of this tavern, but you guys, you're just doing your thing. You're drinking, you're hooking up, you're doing all that kind of stuff.
Definitely our thing. We're French.
Definitely your thing. So we start the game with a messenger coming in. This is several, like maybe an hour after the event happens, that you have no idea happened. The messenger comes in, and he which of you would be considered the leader of your little gang?
Probably me.
Yeah,
I
probably,
probably have the
Renee.
most command experience. So yeah, I think
Okay.
Renee is probably the. He's rather tall, so he might stand out a little bit more too.
Okay. All right. So this messenger comes inside the tavern, and he pulls you aside, Renee.
Yeah.
He goes, Monsieur, there's a problem, and the king needs you and your guard, your regiment, your fellows to come with it. There's an emergency meeting, and you're needed. You need to
Sure.
come with me.
Show the way, friends. We have a mission.
I am far too dramatic right now for a mission.
All right. Fair enough.
Take
I
it
will.
away.
I will drag my sorry drunk companions.
I was like, I'm
Out.
on the other side of him, and we both pick him up.
I finished my
No,
drink real
please.
fast.
I don't really resist. No, please, don't.
Just one more drink.
I shall be back, mademoiselle.
All right. So, you guys are escorted.
Wait for
through the
me. Save yourself for me.
escorted through the streets. The tavern isn't that far away from the palace, or even your barracks, as it were. And as you are escorted into the Palace of Versailles, there is almost like a court session. Like the king is there, the cardinal's there, the first minister of science is there. His name is where I put that. Yeah, this is great radio. Yeah, so the Minister of Science is Jean-Guy Lagarde, and he is he's standing over next to the cardinal, and they're having a conversation. The king is listening in and adding his 2 cents, and you get the sense that something really bad has happened, but no one has actually given you any direction. The captain of your regiment would be Eloy Delis. He is Captain Delis. He comes. He stops you as you come in. He gives you a briefing, and he tells you that there was something that was in the sky that fell right outside the city, and your team is going to be tasked with going out there. So,
If I'd known this was going to be such a formal occasion, I'd have worn my Kalina breeches.
but I have to warn you, the Red Guard is going with you. Now, for those who don't know what the Red Guard is, they are the Cardinals.
The Cardinals troops. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Historically, the Musketeers and the Red Guard butt heads a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Because
you'll
because
get
for
into
some
fights
reason here the
They're
church
wrong.
thinks they need their own military wing. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
so
You ask too many questions.
they're sending both regiment, your small contingency plus another small contingency of the
Probably about the same
Red
number.
Guard. Yeah, and
They
We
gonna take
answer to
more.
the king. That's different.
Yeah.
that's
You are
right.
the
Yes.
king's guard.
You are commissioned by the king. The king directly pays you for
right
your
then.
service, to where the cardinal finances the Red Guard.
Fortunately for me, because I drink a lot, he is also French.
We're all
So-
French. Kind of say, look around.
Say what?
I
I'm
said,
not so certain about your brother.
I'm sorry, Ken. I didn't hear what you said.
oh, I just said that.
He
I'm
said
looking
we're all
around and
French.
say we're all French.
Oh, we're all French.
I said I'm not so certain about your brother.
One of these days,
One of these days.
I will show
Alright.
you how French I am.
All right. So, you get the big briefing. They, the cardinal. It's a sign from heaven.
Yes.
We must go out and we must get this item. And then the Minister of Science and some other advisors are like, but it could be the Spanish. The Spanish might have had something to do with it. This could be a trick. This could be a trap.
Spaniards
But-
are falling from the sky. Yes,
How'd
I
they
must
get up
see.
there? This has
Just-
to be a Spanish trick.
I'm saying this as quietly as I'm not really able to.
Right.
Whoever's close to me, probably, unfortunately, usually Christoph.
It's
Trebuchet.
raining Spaniards.
Just saying.
Raining Spanish.
No, that's funny.
We didn't hear any screaming, so I can't imagine that it would be a trebuchet.
The Spanish, they don't know how to scream properly.
Renee,
Yeah.
Lagarde comes over to you and it says, I need you and your friends to play nice with the red guard.
Oh man,
Please.
I hate dealing with these pricks.
Is that an order, sir?
Yes, do not start any fights tonight.
But can we
You have
finish
my
them?
word. When the fights they break out, they will not be started by me.
All right.
Just don't
Alright,
start
so-
fights. Okay, I can handle that.
Yeah, just
Can we
don't
still
start them.
finish them?
Oh, we always finish.
We always
Ask the question. If you ask the question, you'll have an answer. If you don't have an answer, you can make up your own.
Let's not burden the captain with such trivialities.
All right. All right. So the briefing, there's not a whole lot going on other than you
Right.
guys kind of
Yeah.
being told what you need to do.
Given our marching orders, we head out.
But there's a lot of hubbub going on, and there's a lot going on. So they send you out with a wagon, and you approach the forest. And what's interesting about the forest is there is a line of where the trees have been knocked down. And then there's a small clearing, and there's this little bit of a crater,
That's one
But-
very big trebuchet, my friend.
and then a tiny, from a distance, it looks like a tiny rock. In the center of this clearing, sitting inside of the crater. As you get closer, it looks like a ovalish kind of shape, more like egg-like.
Mm-hmm.
About this, a little bit larger than what you would know as an ostrich egg. I mean, your characters may not know, but you guys would
Yeah.
know.
That's it.
So
I look around at the devastation surrounding it.
So one of the things, and this is where I'm going to move over to Cortexatron. So I'm going to add a sticky note, and it's going to be a scene distinction, which is called "It's So Heavy," and that's at a D8.
Oh, pardon me. Where will that show?
That's gonna pop up right under sticky notes.
Earn crater.
Oh, I see it.
Distinction. It's so heavy.
Oh.
So it's like an aspect.
It's a scene. Oh, you know what? That's not. I did that wrong. See, I told you I was gonna mess this up. All right, hold on a second.
That's okay.
That's not a scene distinction. It's a scene complication.
That makes more sense.
Hey, works either way.
I was thinking of it as a complication.
Right. It still seemed like a distinction.
So,
was
It's just
Distinct.
distinctly complicated.
so the difference between a distinction and a complication is complications can be removed. Distinctions cannot be removed.
Oh, that makes sense.
Distinctions are part of you or part of the scene that is something that is not going to change. It's outside of your control. To where complications, you
can
guys
work around it.
can. This is where you can use different specialties and attributes and roles to kind of figure out how to get this thing onto the cart. And everything you do against it will lower the complication or raise the complication. As it gets lowered, it means you're defeating it. As it's raising, it means it's defeating you.
Oh. So we just need to figure out how to light as a feather, stiff as a board this thing.
Basically.
How many red guard can we stick underneath it to?
How many red guards?
Oh. See, I was just wondering if we had anything that I could use for a wedge,
Yeah, the red guard.
other than the red guard. We're not supposed
You-
to start fights.
Use them as the fulcrum for the
Cannot
lever.
resist. We're not starting a fight.
I'm
So
pretty sure they're gonna resist.
I am going to add in a scene distinction here. And this is something that, as a distinction, is something that you can all use. So if you want to build a dice pool, you can use this distinction instead of your own distinctions.
Oh. Oh.
So now you can decide how, if you want to use that scene distinction narratively in any action that you want to perform, and then you can use it as a D8. And because it's a distinction, it gets that same special effect where if you use it as a D4, you can get a plot point. Oh, and I guess I should say everyone starts with 1 plot point. So I did ask you guys to bring markers or something to denote how many plot points you have to keep track of it. Or you can write them on your character sheet. I don't have a space for them because Cortex is a much better game to be played with people at a table together because of how everything moves around. So it's a little bit janky using online technology.
Sure.
So with you guys using the plot points on your side, I'll be using the Doom pool on my side. And as I add things into the Doom pool, I will take the correct size out of my dice bag and add it into the Doom pool, whatever I have. So it's a visual way for me to remember what I have in the Doom pool instead of having to write all this stuff down.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
But on our end, we're just tracking the point total.
You're just tracking your point tokens,
Okay.
and I'm basically tracking the Doom pool.
Okay.
So you should all have 1 plot point to start this off.
Let me actually put down what I wrote down a 1 for.
So, all right. So the basic of Cortex is, do you want to do a thing? And you have to decide if there's consequences. If there are no consequences or I don't disagree with you, I'm not going to make you roll anything. Whatever you want to do is just going to happen.
Okay.
Narratively. If we have a disagreement on how things are going to happen, then we'll put down some dice. This is something that Jib does very well in his games. It's something I picked up from him. So once you figure out if there's consequences, you figure out can a character stop you? If yes, then it's a contest, and then the initiator sets the difficulty. So if you initiate the contest, you roll first, and I roll against you. If it's not another person, it's just a test, which I would then come up with a difficulty.
Right.
I would use dice from my Doom pool.
Okay.
You build your dice pool and roll it. I build my dice pool and wait for you to choose your outcome, and then I would roll against it. So in your dice pool, you get up to 2 dice to your to add together for your difficulty number, and then 1 die as a effect die, and that'll become more clear once we actually do something.
Right.
So if you have to beat the total,
Okay.
then you do what you're trying to do. If you roll less than the total, then or equal or less, then you do not do it, and then we role play the results.
Okay.
So something that we're gonna do when you're setting up your dice pool is we're gonna figure out what you're trying to get out of this roll, and then I would figure out what the opposition wants out of it, and then that would determine the outcome.
So right at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So right at the moment, you have this task that you need to perform. You have the red guard there with you. You have each other, and you have the scene distinction of uprooted trees and a bunch of debris. And you need to figure out how you're going to get this thing back to the palace so the Minister of Science can study it.
Okay, and you said we came with a cart and horse.
Cart.
You have a
and stuff.
cart, a horse-drawn cart,
Okay.
and it's separate, so it's not like you're riding the
Right. Yeah.
horse.
It's
But,
to bring back whatever we find.
Right.
I mean, that's why they
there's
started out
there's
with
there's a separate person tasked to driving the wagon.
Right. So I'm assuming that we've discovered at some point here we've discovered the heaviness of it simply by the advent of trying to lift it.
Right. Yeah. So very much. Yeah. Anyone going up to it trying to lift it up, it has this complication of it's so heavy. And what you want to do is you want to target that complication and you want to get rid of it. So you want to do tasks that will counteract that heaviness so that you can get it loaded and back in.
Well, Alphonse was talking about some kind of lever.
Yeah, if we could
Yeah.
find some way to wedge it out of the ground, that way we aren't actively working against whatever might be adhering it to the ground even.
And I am
Okay.
a reasonably logical thinker, and I could probably find.
You're
a way
also
to get the
gadgeteer,
best
right?
leverage. I
You have
am.
gadgeteer. Yeah. So
I am.
so how about we use you? So Christoph, you have a choice to make. You can use one of your distinctions that you wrote down, or you can use the scene distinction of uprooted trees and a bunch of debris. Now, for making a lever, it makes perfect sense to use the uprooted trees
It does.
or branches and whatnot that are the debris that's on the ground to move this thing around. So my suggestion would be picking that scene distinction.
Of course, I could just use all my friends and make them work at the same time and use all for one. But I think that using the trees would work better right now.
All right. Everybody get a finger on the part of it. Oh, for one. One. Ah! That was a bad idea.
And there goes their backs. All right. And they just retire and game is over.
Game is over. Anyways, yes, let's go ahead and use the uprooted trees and debris to build a fulcrum to gain some leverage so that we can angle this up into the cart.
Okay. So that's the first die in your die pool. The second is now you choose an attribute. We were talking about reason.
you walk
Yes,
up the
I
side
definitely
room
want to
there.
use my I want to figure this out.
So what
logically.
rating is your reason at?
10.
So add a D10. So in Cortexatron, what you're doing is you're going to build this up. You're going to
Right.
hit the add D8
6.
D6.
Oh, it's D.
It's a
8.
D8.
I'm
So-
sorry, you're right.
No, that's
Let
okay.
me remove
You can
all
actually
that.
remove things
D8,
individually here.
D10. Oh.
Okay. So you
Oh,
got
I
it.
could have. How do you remove it individually?
You select it.
Little box in it, probably.
Yep.
Check mark.
And,
box.
Yeah.
and then you hit remove check die. But
Oh,
you
down below.
you-
Got it.
yeah, you did
it.
a step up.
Okay.
So that worked too.
Oh no,
Um,
I actually cleared everything and redid
Oh,
it.
did you? Okay. It just looked like you just changed that. Okay. that
I'm
makes
just
sense.
fast.
Happened so fast.
It was so fast. All right. So, so we're talking this out. So you have the uprooted trees and debris. You have your reason attribute. Which of your roles would you like to invoke here? Now, it doesn't have to make a whole lot of sense, but I mean, soldier could
Guile.
work
Soldier.
because as a soldier, you're used to working with other people to make things happen. And as long as you can justify it,
I don't see
Reasonably.
pistoleering working, but
unless you're gonna shoot it. I mean, are you gonna try and shoot it?
no. See, as a pistolier, I know that's a horrible idea.
You have science.
Actually,
Can you use science
I-
as far as your
I
your
do have I have a
math and
10 in my
stuff to-
specialties for science, but
to
we were
try
talking about
to-
rolls, right?
We're in rolls, yeah.
Yeah, we're in
Oh,
rolls.
roll. Sorry.
Off of the rolls, I could reasonably consider that I'm using medic to try to make sure that we do this without actually hurting ourselves.
There you go. That's
Using the proper brace points in
Right.
the
Lift
physiological
with your
body.
legs, not your back.
I'm
Chew on
walking
your
up beside
sage.
Renee and opening a flask and saying, "I just think the wine would have helped." No,
all right.
Maybe you.
So now we're going to move down into specialties. Specialties are not
Offering the
always
flask.
added, they're only added when applicable. So in this, you could use science, but I think this is more of a gadgeteering.
I think I agree
building
with you.
something.
My gadgeteering's a 6, my science is a 10, but I do believe yes is more of a gadgeteering.
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, you could reasonably say with science that you're using physics.
I took
move
I
this
took
around.
medic. I'll accept gadgeteering.
So go ahead and add in your d6 there. All right. Now, this is where you get to decide. You have one plot point. You can choose it. You can choose to add in another specialty by spending a plot point, or you can choose your past life. If medic connects with your past life at all, did you for your past your
No, it was with the church.
you were with the church? Okay.
Oh,
All right, so
yeah, I was the third son. The one that went to the church.
You went to the church. Okay. But is that where you learned your medic stuff?
I did. I read a
Okay.
lot. I studied a lot.
Okay. So you could reasonably say, I want to use this special effect because it ties to this, but you don't have to.
don't have
Special
to.
effects are always optional.
And we would have to get the 8 down by what 3 to clear it.
You need to step it down to a d6, to a d4, and then to nothing. Yeah.
So that
you
would
have
be
to
3
step it down
steps.
3 times.
3
Okay.
steps.
Hey, I'm figuring this out.
You're doing great. All right. So what you would do now is you would choose decide if you want to spend any plot point. You don't have to. I mean, you only have one right now. Decide if you want to spend any of your plot points. You could also use plot points to add more dice to your total. So instead of adding 2 dice, you can add 3. But you haven't rolled your dice, so you don't know what your result is yet. So it's
I
something
don't know
we
what
can
my
wait on.
result is yet. Oh, so that's something I could wait on and try to improve it.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So there's a button here that says roll all the dice.
That's the one you want.
Whoa! I mean, yes.
All right. So you didn't roll any ones. That's great for you. Bad for me. Because I don't get to add anything to my doom pool. So it's not so dooming over here. It's kind of like a
I would never join an order with a vow of silence.
it's
That is against my
lesser
religion.
doom.
All right.
It's against my religion.
So this is where you get to decide what numbers you want to add together. Usually you want to have the highest total. Because once you've decided what you're going to roll, I'm going to keep your results. See the keep button? I'm going to keep your results and I'll put it down here under past rolls. And then I'm going to build up my dice pool and roll against it.
I see.
So my goal is to roll a higher total than you.
But 19's a reasonable number, I think. But then
You're saying then the 3 would be the effect. Is that
Yes, you can make you don't have to for the effect die, you don't have to worry about what the number is. You're only looking at what the die type is.
Oh,
Okay.
and the die type's 10.
Yeah. Which is
This
good.
is- This
Good?
was a
Okay.
nice roll.
This is a very good roll.
Yeah.
So, you can decide right now if you just want to add the 7 and the 6 together, or spend a plot point and add both 6s and the 7 together. Give you a 19 instead of a 13. But again, it's completely optional.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I want to make sure this thing's up.
Okay.
I'm gonna regret this later.
So what you would do is you would check. You can actually do the choose best total.
Oh.
And then choose best effect, and it'll auto select them for you. And then actually, I'm sorry, I messed that up for you. For the total, since you want to do all three of them, you would select all three that you want, and then choose the check dice are total.
Ah, okay. Check dice are total. Got it. Now it says total effect
19, and then your effect is a D10.
Okay.
Which is great.
All right.
All right. So now I'm gonna roll against that. So I'm gonna roll 2d6, and then I'm gonna add the complication into my roll as a D8.
Do I have to click keep first, or is that's
Yeah, you can click keep.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's cute.
Yep. And then I can go here and I can clear everything, and then your stuff is still down there.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to keep track of things that way. So
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
going to I'm posing the difficulty of this at 2d6, and then I'm adding the scene complication of d8 to this roll.
It's so heavy.
I don't really have a whole lot in my doom pool, so I'm not going to spend any of my doom pool into this.
Oh wow! So you can take back out of your doom pool too.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
that's why
I'm
the
not
ones
actually
can screw
rolling
us.
those. I almost did. I was like, wait a minute, I'm rolling on the Cortexatron. I'm gonna do roll all dice. Oh, okay. I got a 1. Now, actually, this is interesting.
Oh.
Anybody can spend a plot point to use that 1. It's called an opportunity in this case because I rolled it, and you can lower the scene complication by 1 step. Any of you can do it. You just have to give me a narrative reason why that's happening.
Can't think of what I can help.
I'll spend mine, and essentially I'm going around organizing the Red Guard to help move things around and clear the way for the wagon to come in, and so we can lever it, and not even just lever it, but lever it almost into the wagon.
Okay.
So I'm kind of employing the Red Guard to help out.
Okay.
Kind of using my commanderiness to bark orders and boss them around as necessary.
No, it's okay. He's always like this.
All right. So
I
what that's going to
drink
do
to
is
that.
that's going to immediately make that D8 into a D6. And I'm going to add my total together. And I'm going to do, let's see. Yeah. So because I don't have 3 dice to use, my effect die is essentially a D4.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's your D10 versus my D4 for the effect. But that doesn't matter because I didn't beat you. I only have an 11, you have a 19. So you win this situation without even having to worry about what the effect die is.
You'll win this time.
Gadgeteer.
So but now here's gadget. Yeah, there you go. Now you're gonna. What's interesting is now that it's a D6, you are not only beating it, knocking it to a D4, but your total is more than 5 higher than mine. So you get to knock it down again. So you're gonna knock it down that last step. So it is now loaded into your cart.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Do we all follow that logic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So like a 5 is kind of like a boost where you're succeeding against.
It's like Savage Worlds where every 4 you get is an
Right.
additional
success.
A
extra
raise,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, a raise. But
So-
this is every 5, and it's called a it's like a
There's a word for it.
super super success. I don't remember the word. I'm blanking.
You're good. You're fine.
But yeah, so it's a great success, and so therefore you get to lower or raise your effect die basically. So your
Okay.
effect die is going from a D10 to a D12.
Wow. So we
thing.
basically took what could have been a
Pretty difficult kind of
like
thing.
three attempts to get it up to get it. We all worked together and made it all just go in one fell swoop, whereas normally this could take like several interactions to complete
Yeah.
the task.
Yep. So the next round would have been like maybe well, this uses action order initiative. So you chose to be the first one to start. So after you finished, you would have chose the next person to go. And then everyone would go until
And then kind of back around until
The task was completed.
Yeah. Now, if this was an opponent situation, I would actually have a turn, and you have to keep me in that loop because if you make me go last, I can then at the beginning
Go
make
first,
myself go
basically.
first,
Go
and
first,
basically
right.
take 2 turns.
Oh yeah, no, we did that in another system.
Yeah, they call
Yeah.
it action order.
Yeah.
Some people call it popcorn initiative, but it's not really popcorn initiative because you're choosing where it goes.
I don't
Mhm.
remember which setting that was.
But
Could've
I
just
don't,
when we
I
were
don't like the
discussing
term
initiative.
popcorn initiative because it doesn't make sense with how things work. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So action order. So you guys successfully get this
Oh,
heavy.
Chad said it was in Fate when we did Fate Accelerator.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
the one where I went to go look for the heads in the refrigerators, even though I knew the other thing was in the other room because my character didn't.
Oh, okay.
Ask the chat room.
All right. So you get this thing loaded. Now you got to get it back. The Red Guard actually wants to take it. They want to lead the wagon back.
Yeah, that's
So-
not happening.
Let me clear all these out. So I'm gonna,
I mean, it's fine as long as I am in the wagon.
I was about to say I will climb in the wagon and they can take the wagon back. I'd say you beat me to the punch, sir.
So how are you going to persuade them to let you be the ones to bring it back? I'm gonna leave this at Renee's.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I'm
kinda-
gonna hold Renee back. Don't do it, monsieur. Very, very loudly, you know. You remember what happens the last time? That Red Guard commander, he's never been able to drink out of both sides of his face.
Ah. Yeah, I'm trying to think as far as I wouldn't necessarily call it courage. I'm not trying to necessarily be courageous. I guess effectively I'm saying, you know, this is clearly intended for the king, and we will see that it is escorted, and he can determine, you know, whether the is it a cardinal? Is that
Cardinal,
Yeah.
Cardinal, and
cardinal?
there's 3 interested parties in this. There's the king, there's the cardinal, and then there's the minister of science.
Okay. Yeah,
The cardinal is
I'm very
is
much
the
a
Red Guard,
this
the king
this
is
is
the Musketeers.
intended for the king. It landed, you know, in his realm, and it's intended for him.
Sounds like reason.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
that's probably
or
probably
Guile.
I'm trying to reason with them
Guile.
that this is clearly the
Whichever one is better.
my guile's
Yeah.
a 4, so I'm not trying
I
to
mean, if
bullshit.
you're trying to
them.
do this underhandedly, Guile
No,
would be-
I yeah,
you're being
no,
straightforward.
yeah, I'm
with
being
it.
very straightforward. Like we were
I,
sent
on
out
the other
here
hand.
by the king to retrieve this. We have now retrieved it, and we will return it to the king. And then he can decide.
All right, so let's build this up because
Okay.
they are not.
Oh
this
yeah.
is not.
no.
This is not. They're not happy with this. So let's build up your dice pool.
Sure.
Um,
So I think I'm trying to reason with them. I guess is maybe
yes.
what
So
we're saying.
the
So that's a
the attribute is
D6.
reason. Um, which distinction are you gonna go with?
I'm pretty righteous about this. I mean, this as far as
Okay.
this is clearly the right thing to do, and we'll do that, and then let politics happen afterwards. But
Well, let me ask you that. With you, the way that you describe that, are you using your righteousness against yourself? And then, like, are you being too righteous?
I probably am. I mean, I really don't like these guys anyways, so I'm kind of it's probably righteous indignation. Like, this is the way it's gonna go.
So you can add a D4 instead of a D8 and give yourself a second plot point.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably do that. Because I spent my plot point before, so let's see.
Right.
Oh, there you go. So you get your one. You'll get one.
I get
plot
my
point
one back. So then you said D4,
Yep.
and then
This is obviously your commander role.
commander, so that's a D8.
And what kind of which are you going with cloak and dagger in this? Are you well? I guess you said you're being
No.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Specialties may not always apply.
Yeah, I really don't have anything. I mean, short of swashbuckling them, that's. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
and I made the conscious choice of making swashbuckling a combat.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that doesn't really apply. So, I'm not really menacing them, and I don't have it anyways. So,
Psyche.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have psych.
Yeah, I do not. I mean,
Psyche.
Acrobatics, gadgeteering, seafaring, science, and swashbuckle.
Okay.
So I'm really not good at trying to basically intimidate people, but
Wait, so you don't
But
have
I
menace?
am.
I do not have menace. No.
You do not have menace. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, so go ahead and roll all of those dice.
Roll all dice.
Good roll.
Not bad.
Yeah. Almost max for the dice, anyways.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a really good roll.
So I guess what I need to do is decide if I go for the highest number, because then that's what they have to beat.
Yes.
And then if I succeed, then I guess if I succeed, then the effect dice doesn't matter, or it does as far as the level.
If you succeed, the effect die does not actually matter. Well, if you're trying to create a complication on them, then it still matters. But you're just trying to. This is a
right. This is the right
we're
thing
doing
to
this.
do.
You're not doing this.
Right.
Situation.
We can
So
we
you're
can
not
deal
really
with
trying to
politics
do-
later, but this is what we came out here to do,
Right.
and this we're
The
gonna have
battle of wills.
Yep. So yeah, I guess I keep the 6 and 7, then. And then I just keep results, I guess.
Hold on. Did you?
Oh, I need to do.
You need to add them together. So you can do choose best total. It'll automatically add the two highest
Okay,
numbers,
there we go.
and then
keep
choose
that.
best effect, and it'll automatically choose the D4 as your effect. But it's already there.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in
because the
their bunch,
D4
but-
is the default.
Yeah. I guess what I
So-
can do before I clear this, and then.
So you want to do keep results.
Yep.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna remove all these dice. So okay, so in this situation, I am going to build up a dice pool for the
Kinda.
guard, the red guard. So let me get to my little notes here. All right, so the red guard. This is a small contingent, so we're rolling 2d6 for them. They are doing this. They're invoking their distinction for the cardinal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's going to be a D8, D6, and D8. And then let's see here. They're gonna use their they're going to use their guile to persuade you to let them have it. They're not being very truthful in what
Yeah.
they want to do with it.
Thought for sure he was going to say the comfy chair.
And and they're going to invoke their commander, which is not very high because their commander did not come with them.
That's a lot of dice.
What a shame.
And then cloak and dagger, but they're also low dice.
And there's a lot of chances
So-
for ones.
There's lots of chances for ones.
Oh, so many
So-
ones.
Let me go ahead and roll all this dice.
So many ones.
I got a lot of twos.
Oh,
But
Oh,
that's
so
nice.
so the highest I'm gonna get is a 9.
9, yeah.
So I'm not gonna beat you. My effect die isn't any higher, so that's not going to do anything either. So, all right. So at this point, you have convinced them reluctantly to let you lead this wagon back
Mm-hmm.
to the palace. And upon arrival, the king is not anywhere in sight, but the cardinal and the first minister of science, well, I guess the cardinal is the first minister, and then the minister of science, Jean Guy. Did I get that right? No.
Yeah, Jean D. Regard.
Lagarde. Jean-Louis.
Legard. Yeah,
Lagarde.
that's
Yep.
right.
Lagarde.
Lagarde.
Lagarde. Jean-Guy. I wrote his name down because science.
Science.
Science!
So I have a question. I'm trying to follow the dice rolling, but I'm unsure how the effect die is picked, and I feel like I'm getting more and more lost.
We haven't needed it yet.
Okay.
If he would have
Um,
used an effect dice, he probably would have used one of the D6s.
Yeah, so if
Okay.
he was trying to add a complication onto the red guard,
Hmm.
that's when the effect die would matter because I could lower his effect die if I had chose a higher effect die.
Okay.
Like if I was trying to demoralize them or something like
Yeah.
that, then
So
Okay.
so we didn't get that far. So it didn't actually matter yet.
Okay.
It'll matter more when you're in combat situations.
Fair enough.
That was what we were about to do if we failed the first try, though.
That's probably what was going to happen.
if I failed, hopefully it would have started a fight because then we could have finished it. And
because you're
Anyways.
finishers.
yes,
That's another way to demoralize.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. So,
to
the
use
the
your
cardinal
words.
is there. The minister of science is there at the unloading area. They have, I guess, what would be some kind of makeshift cart that can be pushed through the palace to put this thing on. And the cardinal is actually surprised when you see him because the red guard is not surrounding this like you guys are.
yeah.
He was expecting them to be leading it back so that he could just take it and do what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now you are protecting this. So, are you gonna march this to the the Minister of Science's laboratory, or are you going to leave it here and let them deal with it?
Were we instructed to bring it to the king or bring it to the
Bring
Minister
it
of
back to the
Science?
palace.
Okay.
That was your instruction.
Bring it back to the
That's the end of
palace.
our instruction, but we know how we feel about it. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and take it to the minister. Of Science.
Yeah,
It would
I think
be
that's
so
the,
That was my
best.
opinion as well.
To take it to the guards.
and I know that
Ah.
even if I wanted to do something different, I was going to be, I'll say, outvoted by my other three companions. So, and I'm good with science. So, I think we're all in agreement.
Correct.
That's we want to bring it
Okay.
to the Minister of Science.
All right. Well, I mean, you have control of this thing. So, the cardinal is obviously a little irritated, but he doesn't put up a fight.
Right, especially
you're
here
able
in
to
the
take
palace. See, that's not kind of.
Right. You're able to take it back to the laboratory.
Hey, look at that. We're already making friends.
There you go. All right.
Rochelt. Isn't that a smelly kind of cheese?
All right. So in the laboratory, this is not a very large room, but it does have multiple areas for different closets. Some containing chemicals, some containing, um, various
Equipment.
projects that he's been working on. There's a couple tables out in the actual laboratory area, and the first minister directs you to the table that he wants you to leave it at, and basically he thanks you for your time. He tells you that he's going to conduct some research on it, and there is a follow-up meeting tomorrow morning that he will give more information of what he can discern from this item. So you guys are relieved of duty at this point.
Do a quick twirl and a bow as we trail out the door.
But well, we should turn in early this evening and get plenty of rest.
Speak for yourself. We'll see if Miss
To the tavern.
Penelope is still waiting.
No, that's where exactly we're going to get our rest.
Are the
Exactly where we're
the-
Rest, companionship.
the Red Guard and the Cardinal still around, or do they kind of leave once we?
You kind of left them to their thing
Mhm.
as you took this to the laboratory.
Yeah, kind of when we kind of head back, I guess heading out to the tavern, see if there's some of them skulking about or something.
Absolutely.
Never trust the Red Guard.
Never trust them. All right. So we'll end scene there with you guys going back and doing the tavern thing again, and we'll rise and shine at the morning council meeting that Lagarde told you about.
Okay.
So at this meeting, it's basically the same as the meeting that you were pulled in when you were briefed. The Cardinal's there, the King's there, some of the Red Guards there, your captain's there, and obviously all of you show up in some fashion. The only person that's not there is the Minister of Science. Your captain, what did I call him? Captain Delis. He said he wants two of you to go find and bring the minister back. So, what two of you want to go?
Yeah, haven't done much yet. Sure, why not?
Christoph, you want to go as well?
Oh, well.
Renee puts his foot down. Christoph, you're going with him.
Fun.
You're the third
Let's
son.
see what
You go
trouble
with.
we can get into.
All right.
To be young again.
So, the two of you, you know where the laboratory is. Upon entering the room, the rock that was on the table is now busted open. There is some weird greenish goo left inside. There's a couple beakers around. You're welcome to collect it if you want to. Another thing that you spot is over in the corner of the far right corner. There's a small sampling of blood. Not enough that you can. It's not like the goo where it's like able to be collected, but the blood it's just kind of staining the floor.
I'm definitely going to make a note of the blood, but if the goo is in a position to be able to be collected, my curiosity compels me to do so.
Yeah, I understand your curiosity will be working on that, and I am actually going to check the blood on the floor to see if I can determine maybe how long it's been there drying.
Oh, okay. How are you going to go about determining that?
I'm going to use my medical background and a little bit of science.
All right. All right. So your role is going to be medic. Your which distinction are you? You know what? I'm going to add some
Curiosity.
scene distinctions here. I'm going to use the Cortexatron here. These are always at a D8. So yes. Oh, it should be beakers. My bad.
So many beaker.
Me.
Not that kind of beaker.
So many.
And then something smells in here is the other scene distinction. So you can use any of your distinctions, or you can try and use any of those distinctions in their place if they're applicable.
Now, for my blood collection, I am actually just going to use my curiosity.
That's a good distinction to use. All right. Let me remove all those dice. So, all right. So let's go ahead and build that up. So add your D8 for your curiosity, unless you're using it as a
In a bad
D4.
way.
And gaining
I
plot
was
points.
so thinking about it, but you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's
So how is
do
your
it.
curiosity hindering this action?
Because right now, I really want to check out everything in this room, and I'm a little distracted. I'm also trying to keep an eye on what Alphonse is doing with the goo.
Okay. Oh, so your curiosity is you're multitasking. Kind of
Right. I'm
curiosity.
not as focused on this as
Right.
I need to be.
Okay.
Even in my drive to do
I
that.
wonder what's in that experiment right there.
Look at this jar with this
and
animal fetus of some sort.
And and then I can use the reason and the medic, right?
Yes, you can. So, your reason's a D10, a D8, and what's your medic at?
My medic's 8. My reason's 10. I did them in the wrong
Okay.
order, but same
Okay,
thing.
it's fine. It doesn't have to be in the same order.
Yeah.
And specialty is science.
I definitely have a science.
Nice.
All
right.
That's
so
why I sent you.
Before you make your roll, make sure that you give yourself your plot point.
I have it now.
All right. So go ahead and roll all of your dice.
Oh, son of a gun. At least the D4 is the one that got knocked out.
And I'm going to give you another plot point. So give
And
yourself
it's
a
a
second
1.
plot point. Rich, go ahead and give yourself a second plot point.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to add a I'm going to add a D6 to my doom pool.
There you go. All right. So I get to keep 2.
Yep. You choose the 2 to make your total, and then your effect is a D10. All right.
Effect is a D10. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to keep those results.
All right.
I'm going to remove all those dice. Okay. And so I'm going to roll 2d6, and because you're being distracted, I'm going to use the scene distinction of something smells in here. That could be helping to distract you.
Of course.
So, 2d6, d8.
It smells like a corpse.
All right. So you are actually going to win this roll because my highest is only a 10. And then my effect is a d6. So my effect isn't going to do anything to you because it's not higher than your effect. But you are going to gain yourself a D10 clue. And you can call this, we can add to the sticky notes here. We'll call it, what it's Christoph, right, with a K?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I want.
I usually tell the ladies my name is Chris, so I don't confuse them.
All right. We're going to blood sample. Actually, you know what? We're not even going to make that clue because I'm just going to tell you. All right. So the this happened probably within the overnight. Obviously, overnight.
Mm-hmm.
With that high of an effect, I'm going to say that you can narrow it down to probably about maybe 4 to 6 hours ago. In whatever 17th century time is.
So this is definitely something that's happened since the egg was here.
When we all went to sleep last night after heavy night of drinking.
Yeah. 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 After we located people to fluff our pillows.
I think I was doing the fluffing.
I'm sure you were.
Oh, okay.
Sounds about right.
All right. So, as you guys are doing all this stuff, you find Lagarde passed out in one of the storage closets.
Passed out breathing?
Breathing, passed out.
Oh, thank God.
Do I also see this, or is this a
Yes,
crystal?
you both
Okay.
find this.
Okay, just
Oh,
making sure.
You would see it shortly after I did when I would say, Lagarde!
Like, oh my God, but Lagarde.
Oh my God! Oh, Lagarde!
I would like to check him and see if there's any way that we can bring him to stabilization. I guess.
All right. Do you have any science knowledge, like specialty?
I do indeed.
Okay, so you can probably like use like a smelling salt or something kind of chemical.
I don't know why they send us together. We're like best buds.
Yeah, I'm not actually gonna make you roll. You're gonna wake him up.
Okay, cool.
So I just wanted to make sure you had, the prerequisites to do this. So you wake him up. He's like, oh, what happened? I was tinkering on the rock, and it cracked open, and there was this goo inside, and next thing I know, I'm here. How did that happen?
Are you bleeding?
What time is it?
It is morning. We are waiting upon you, and
it's past time for your meeting.
That.
Oh, the meeting. Oh, and he gets up. He dusts himself off real quickly.
Hey, are you bleeding anywhere? There is blood on the floor.
There, you see a little bit of blood. Looks like it is trickling, or not trickling, but dried right behind his ear.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
As if it came out of his ear.
It was you. Okay. All right.
It was you.
Well, if there was something else bleeding here, I would want to know.
Get the points.
I do hope you are okay, sir. I would hate to take your job from you.
I feel fine. Like I said, I don't know why I passed out. I feel good. We need to get to this meeting.
Do we need anything from the egg?
Well, I mean, we can scoop up some of that green goo. Take that along with us.
Yeah, Alphonse, were you gathering the beakers to get some goo?
Yes. Yes, I was.
All right.
Let
I'm not
me,
going to make you roll for it, obviously.
clean this off for you.
Yeah, yes. So we need to get to our meeting. Lead the way.
Okay.
So you
Onward.
guys walk back.
Oh my god, look at.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
So he is he doesn't look like he's acting any differently at this point. Like you think someone who just got knocked out would be stumbling a little, but he's like good. Like he's up. He's going.
For
he's
having
ready.
just got
On
up,
his
he's
game.
definitely doing better than I am this morning.
No kidding.
All right. You make it back to the meeting area, and let's see here. So, once you get back, the king starts the meeting. He asks the minister, what findings did he find? And he says, well, this strange rock is definitely from the heavens. I don't really feel that this is a Spanish trick at all. I think this is something to be celebrated. A gift possibly from God, maybe even. So I want to continue my research on this rock. If Your Highness agrees, and he does a bow. The king nods, and he says, I will have more information for tonight, but right now I need to go, and I need to keep sampling. And he turns to what would be some attendants, and he grabs them, and they all go along with him.
Do you need some sister? No?
No. You could go if you, I mean, you're not being ordered to go. You can go on your own merit.
Unless you want to accompany, I'm going to follow the doctor.
Who are you talking to?
My companions.
Okay.
By all means.
It was probably less discussion and more just hand signals.
Like, hey, I'm
But yeah.
I'm curious. I want to go see what's going on.
I'm gonna sit around and wait on this one.
Yeah, I was pretty much leaving you to explain to them what we had.
I'm going to
what
go
we
to the
saw.
kitchen and find a bottle of wine.
Sure you are.
All right. So, if you, as the meeting is a lot longer than
Yeah.
it sounds like I described it,
Mhm.
but the gist of it is the minister wants to do more research. He feels that this is a good thing, not an evil plot.
Mhm.
Again, from the Spanish, and he was asking the king for permission to pursue his agenda.
Okay.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So you guys, the three of you, I'm going to let Rich go with him. The three of you, you are now able to go and do whatever a musketeer does. So what does a musketeer do?
When not musketeering,
When not musketeering.
Well, not
Back
under
at the bar.
official capacity as a.
wine, women, and song, of course.
Surely we can get
Probably
a good
In
meal
that
here
order.
in the castle.
It is okay. So you guys are going to split up.
Well,
I'll probably stick largely with Renee unless he decides he wants.
I was suggesting maybe probably get a good high quality meal here. Probably better something we can get in the
I can drink to that.
get in the tavern, and that way maybe we can figure out what the hell's going on around here.
But with a good meal, I can drink more to that.
Exactly.
All right. So, as you guys are about to exit the room, you see the captain of the Red Guard, Comte de Grosjean. Comte is basically a moniker for Count.
Mm-hmm.
Count Grosjean. Named Lambert. Count Lambert Grosjean. He's ordering a small group of the Red Guard to go to the laboratory. You kind of hear that as you pass to go out.
Give me just a moment. I'm gonna walk over to Comte Grosjean.
I'm just gonna go generically stand in their way.
Generically standing.
We're not men.
I had the rumor that some of your men were thinking about looking in on the this is the item we found in the woods. Without being invited. You may want to have a talk with them. Just say.
Are you talking to Renee?
I think he's talking to the
Comte.
No,
Oh,
Lambert.
you went up to the count.
The big one.
Yeah, sorry.
He was the one who was giving the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So you-
drunk enough. I don't care.
Okay. Okay. I just making sure I'm following what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, no,
All
I'm
right.
giving him the out since we overheard him giving the order.
He smells like a distillery.
Giving him the out to pretend that I didn't know he had anything to do with it, obviously. While, of course, Alphonse goes and gets in their way anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of surrounding
absolutely
them.
standing, absolutely. Alphonse kind of absolutely standing in the hallway right in the way over there, just kind of relaxing against the wall.
What is,
right
what
in
is
the
Renee
way.
doing?
I don't know. I
Trying
think
to
it's somewhat comical. I mean, clearly it's not starting anything, so I'll kind of be at the ready to step in if necessary. But
Do you not think, Miller,
I-
that would be tragic? Your men would not be so egregious and self-serving, right?
Out of the way, drunk. We have official cardinal business.
Does he try to push me out of the way?
He does.
I kind of stumble with it, so I'm right in the way again. Oh! I kind of grab onto him a little bit. Other hand is on the hilt of my sword.
Okay.
Pardon me, there. I did not mean to. One moment. I look down like I'm going to throw up.
I'm sure he's bracing for impact.
No, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I stand up straight. I wobble a little bit. Anyway, on the circumstances, when the king asks again whether or not you might have ordered any interference in his determination of the items in investigation, I could tell him with great confidence that you would never do such a thing, my lord. I take another drink.
You heard from the minister himself that this is a gift from God. This is something that should be in the cardinal's possession, not his. We are going to go take
but
this.
that is not the cardinal's decision yet, because His Highness has ordered it to be studied, and the Minister of Science, if he decides that is what it needs to be, how do you say, idiot? Don't be an idiot.
All right. At this point, you are provoking him.
Yes.
So
I don't think there's any question about that.
we're gonna start some combat here.
Boku, we.
I imagine that will start with shoving and soon progress to sword
Well,
play.
You get to decide as you are the initiator.
Oh, well, my initiating is largely verbal at this point, so
Right. But
I wouldn't
This is
actually.
where this is where you can build a dice pool to add a complication to him.
Oh,
Like maybe you really
I
set
like
him
adding-
off or something. Kind of
I
put him off his
excel
game.
at adding complications.
Yes.
Right.
So you can make him, like, I guess, doubt himself. You can get him to where he is blinded by anger. You know, depends on how you want to build this and what you want to do with it.
And statistically, being the initiator gives you a slight advantage on the roll
It does.
Just for the record,
because you
I'm
win
not-
ties.
Okay, so let's see. So what do I need to look at exactly?
I know systems.
All right. So the first thing we're going to start with is your distinction. How are you approaching this conflict? Are you using your all for one, one for all? Are you
I think we're on the same page here.
There you go. Are you using that in a double-edged way where it can come back
Oh,
and
I
hurt
think
you?
so because I'm also making a display of myself.
Okay. So
Ah.
so you would add that to the Cortexatron as a D4.
D4, yeah.
And you would give yourself a new physical plot point.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which means I have two
There you go.
plot points.
All right. So now that we've decided your distinction, now we get to build up the rest of the pool. So let's start at attributes. Is this guile?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your roll for? Or what's
it's a
your
D8.
D8. Okay.
Ah.
Is this? Are you invoking your commander? Are you invoking your?
Oh no, I am ready
soldier?
to react physically to this situation
Okay.
when it inevitably develops and putting myself.
Are
in
you
responsibility, so.
threatening? You said with your sword, right?
I've got my hand on my sword, but I haven't actually pulled it out.
Okay.
It will come out accidentally when it's
I just
necessary.
wanted to make sure that you put your hand on your sword and not on your gun.
Correct.
That's okay.
I'm not it. Besides, I'm better with my sword than my gun.
Okay. All right. So then you would add in whatever that is, D10.
Yep.
All right. And if you have any specialty,
Psych.
now you're technically not in combat yet. You're trying to initiate the combat.
So
You're
swashbuckle
trying to-
wouldn't make sense yet.
Right.
He's
But I have-
more
but I
trying
have
to
a
get
D8
the
in
other guy
psyche.
to initiate the combat.
Okay. You do have D8 and psyche. Okay. So go ahead and add that in because you're trying to get into his head.
Is it better to run the D8 or 2D6?
Well, that is a choice that you have to make because using 2d6 means you roll more dice, which means you get more to add to your total.
More opportunities for ones.
It also means more opportunities for ones.
Yeah, I think I'm being a little reckless, so that's fair.
Okay.
Anything else? Is that everything?
All right. That would be everything. So go ahead and roll all the dice.
Oh,
Sakura,
Okay.
bleh.
All right. So I am going to buy that. So give yourself a third plot point. And I'm going
Uh-huh.
to add another D6
to the Doom Pool.
to the Doom Pool.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you said that I could add a third die
By spending a plot point, yes.
by spending a plot point, which I have 3 of them now, so it seems like a good time to use one.
It's true. Now the question is, do you want 10-4-2 to keep the D8 as your effect? Or
Right.
do you want the 10-4-4 and just go ahead and stick with the D6 as the effect?
Which we still don't know what the difference on the effect die is going to make.
We haven't got to that. So
But he rolls after you.
yeah, I roll after you. So even if I don't win, if my effect die is bigger than yours, it could lower the complication that you're going to add to him.
All right. Let's keep the effect die bigger then, and I'll take the 16. Does that make sense?
Yep. So check the D4, the
And
2, and the 10.
roll
And
the
you
checked
check
dice.
dice are total.
Yep.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. Oh, I hit roll check dice. I meant check dice for total. Actually, hit the wrong button.
Okay, that's okay.
It was 16 with the D6.
Yeah, 16 with the 16 with the D8.
You're right.
16 with a D8. Okay.
Is my result.
All right, 16 with a D8. So just since I can't add that in, just remember that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Sorry, I just slipped.
it's okay. It's okay. We're all learning.
No, I'm not.
You can keep rolling them till you get the same dice. No, that's not how that works.
All right, so he is invoking his distinction that he is the captain of the Red Guard. He can do what he wants in service
I'm
to
the
the
captain
cardinal.
now.
So his distinction is captain of the Red Guard. So that's what he's going with. That's a D8. His attribute is going to be he is trying to deflect your guile. Let's say that his faith in the idea that he's doing the right thing is going to, so he's going to have a D6 for that. He is a commander, so D10 for that. And he's menacing. So he's trying to stand up to your psyche attack. So that's going to be a D8. So D8, 2D8, a D6, and a D10. So 2D8, D6, D10. And roll those. All right. So do you remember what your total was?
16.
16. All right. I cannot beat that. But you chose your effect die as the D10, the D8.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go with the 11.
Right.
The 5 and the 6 as the total.
Which I still beat by 5.
You do beat that by 5.
Mm-hmm.
But his effect die is going to be a D10. So it would, so this is how the effect die is going to work. So your D8 would be raised to a D10. But because my effect die is equal to yours, it drops it back down to a D8.
Okay.
That's how the effect die works. So you are assigning a D8 complication on him.
Gotcha.
So what do you want to call this complication?
See, I'm trying to provoke him to be the one to lose his temper, I guess.
Could you do something as simple as like saying scrutinized, where he's trying to do something in secret, but you're making it clear that you're aware of what he's doing? Is that how that works?
Well, but making it clear that reminding him that we represent the king.
And we are definitely watching and aware of what he's doing. I was curious.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he could do that much of a complication, though.
So what
complications is trying to do something in secret?
Well, what you're trying to do by assigning a complication to him is, as the rest of the scene plays out, you get to use that complication in your die rolls if it's applicable to what you're doing.
Okay, so that's not necessarily, because the scene's going to play out in terms of he's going to make this physical.
Right, but but if you would do like blinded by rage,
yeah, keep him mad.
Then you can use that in your die pool
works.
when you're doing something like, swashbuckling him.
Yeah.
You know, he's blinded by rage, so you get to add the D8 to your roll, kind of thing.
Of course, I can still see scrutinizing working at the point because you're watching what he's doing, so you're seeing what he's doing ahead of him doing it, and you react to it quicker. So it all works, but I like the other one. Blinded by rage works great.
And my first instinct that I was trying to make him act impulsively out of
No,
control.
I like it. I like it. That's more your style.
All right, so I'm going to remove these other ones. So, all right, so I spelled his name wrong. I keep doing that. Hold on a second.
Want to buy an edit command?
I know. All right, there we go.
It's an awesome little tool, though.
Yeah, everything's like
tempted
right
to
here.
use it at the tabletop.
So at the tabletop, we would be using like post-it cards or post-it notes or
Index cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how that runs out. So you were the first to act, Eric. You have started a conflict. You have made this guy angry. You get to choose who goes next. Either I get to go next, or one of your companions can go next. But you got to remember, I'm in this loop now. So if you make me go last, I do have the option.
Right,
of going first
but you as him and the other guards, right?
Yes, all acting
So,
together. Yes.
Alphonse is next.
Okay.
So you're standing in the way.
Yes.
No swords have been pulled yet, but the guy is physically angry.
Which never leads to armed conflict.
Of course not. Of course
You guys
not.
are gonna go sit down at the table, drink some tea, and talk.
Not when August is involved. I think we all saw that coming a mile away.
I am actually going to do what I can to either make myself as big as possible in the doorway to block as much of it as I can, or even go so far as like dragging things over to help block.
Like, here, let me just pull this table
make things more challenging for them to get over. Actually, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna drag stuff over to try to block the doorway.
There's that suit of armor that's standing in the corner.
Yeah,
and
kind of lean on its shoulder.
I mean, we
I've
are
always
inside
thought this would
the
look better
palace.
here. Don't you think this looks good here?
Exactly.
All right, so let's build up your pool here.
Okay.
Tell me exactly what you're doing and how. What
Now that's a complication you're trying to add right there.
what you're trying to use here. So let me remove all my dice.
Distinction.
All right, so let's start with the distinction.
Distinction.
I know that your drive is curiosity. That doesn't
Yes.
really play here. Your past is what?
Artist. So I was thinking of the all for one for all, since
yeah, that
Eric
seems
is
like
already trying to piss him off.
Yep, and
Right,
that's why that's a great blanket statement. 'cause
We're
you
gonna
can
do
use it
this.
the pot.
all the time.
Yeah.
So,
And is what we do.
are you rolling it like he did, like with a D4, or are you rolling it to actually as a benefit to you as a D8?
D8.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So add a D8 to the Cortexatron.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next thing here. So which attribute are you invoking?
Let me go to what they actually mean.
What so the goal of this action is to move something in their way to block them.
Correct.
What is that thing? What in the room have you decided needs to be pushed in their way?
If there's like honestly like a suit of armor or something, that would be person sized and effectively block.
Or a heavy bookcase.
Yeah. So I'm looking for effectively something that is person sized.
Okay. Okay, so it's not going to be that heavy. I mean, it is a suit of armor, so that makes it heavy.
I'm trying to make it more annoying than anything.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would probably be vigor.
Yeah, I can see that.
Would be a strong choice.
And my
I see
vigor
what you
I
did
set
there.
to a 6. So I got
It's
6
not
in there.
horrible.
Because you are pushing and pulling and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yes.
Then your roll. What would you pick for your roll?
I would think soldier on this one,
All right.
personally. So that
I mean,
have...
you're invoking your strength. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So that'd be an 8.
You're blocking off a access path where they could go through. So
And are you using any of your specialties? If you don't have any that apply, that's okay. But what do you have? What are your...
I've got acrobats, cloak and dagger, gambling, psyche, and science.
An acrobats would work.
You could use acrobat in a way to kind, because you have to...
To leverage it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
all right.
science would be remembering how to unlock the wheels to move it.
Right.
I mean,
wait, there's wheels?
You're like, this isn't moving, this isn't moving. Here, just push this lock here. There we go. Now it slides.
All right. So
If acrobatics would be applicable, I'll say I'd
Yeah.
go with that one.
I mean, I
Let's go
think
with
that
that one.
the
That sounds
acrobatics
good.
is jumping over something or something to get to the suit of armor that you need to.
Well, she is trying.
That's to get
he
there
is
to
trying
pull it.
to stay in the way while moving the suit of
maybe
armor.
she's using her acrobatics
Right,
in a
yeah,
swift manner
Mhm.
in order
Yeah.
to do this swiftly.
Before they
Go
can
over to the
react.
suit of armor and try to find a way to chuck it over. Who
There you
knows?
go. All right.
Oh
So
no!
They threw a
That's
suit
what
of
happened.
armor
I
at me.
fell.
and roll all of your dice.
Okay. Roll
Roll
dice.
out the
Ooh.
barrel.
That's a really good roll.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna, if I'm understanding this correctly, I'm gonna total the 6 and the 7 then, and use the D8 for the effect for the 3.
Yep.
And if
Okay.
you want to increase your chances of causing even more spectacular agitation, you can spend one of your points and go ahead and add the 5 in there as well.
I only have 1 plot point, and I don't want to use it yet.
That is your choice. I was making it known if you wanted to pump that from a 13 to an 18, you could.
I appreciate the reminder. So yeah.
I'm
Alright.
liking this.
So
Yeah, so far.
because you're not doing anything to the guards,
Mm-hmm.
you are rolling a test, not a contest.
Mhm.
So you're rolling against the Doom pool, not necessarily their stats.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Sorry, we loaded it up a little.
what's going to happen is the effect that you're going to create. You're basically creating yourself a asset,
Okay.
which is something that will last until you use it.
Okay.
You can spend a plot point once we determine whether it's successful or not. You can use a plot point to allow other people to use it. So in their narrative, they can say that suit of armor, I'm using that because it's blocking their way to get around them, and then add that into their dice pool.
Okay.
So you're making an asset that's technically a scene distinction.
Okay.
Or a scene complication, but it's a complication for them, not a complication for you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me roll against you. So let me keep those results. And I'm gonna roll my 2d6. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say, you know what? Because it's heavier, I'm gonna make it 2d8. You're the only one pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make it 2d8, and I'm gonna spend 2d6 out of my doom pool to add to my roll. So they go out of the, once I spend them, they're out of the doom pool.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 2d8 and 2d6. And let's roll all those dice. All right.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah. So my total is going to be a 14,
Okay.
and my effect is going to be a d8. The effect doesn't really matter in this point.
Gotcha.
Oh, what I did? I cleared it. Hold on. All right. Because I beat you and it's a contest, all that's happening is that you're not making this an asset.
Fair enough.
But I mean, you are moving this. It's just not in a way that's going to impede their.
It would be a shame if this suit of armor were to be end up in your way.
Get in
okay,
the way.
Come on.
Move, you blasted thing! Who bolted these down?
One of you guys maybe want to help me? No.
So now that you are done,
Hmm?
you have a choice to let me go or let Renee go.
I'm thinking you let them go because they're gonna start something, and then I can step in and.
That's what I was thinking
Oh.
too. Let's go for it.
There you go. You didn't start the fire, but you put it out.
Exactly.
Well, I guess our actor stoked this fire.
I started nothing. I was over there drinking.
He was pouring the alcohol on the bottom. All right.
That's right. All right. So I'm
It's
going
an
to start
accelerant.
Yeah.
with the captain of the guard.
Oh, I'm sure.
He is going to invoke his captain of the guard again. He's going to invoke his vigor. He's going to invoke his commander.
Sigh.
He's going to invoke his menacing.
Stop invoking.
So he is going to, yeah, I know, I invoke everything. I'm going to, this is going to be directed right at you, Eric,
Aha!
because you've already kind of gotten his face.
I'm so surprised.
We bumped into him a little bit.
So
Just alcoholic breath all over.
D8 for his distinction, D8 for his vigor, D10 for commander, and D8 for menacing.
Ugh. That's some nasty dice.
D8, D8, 3D8 and a D10. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll all my dice. Oh, not great at all. Not great at all. Oh man,
I'm gonna make this look good.
I hope so. So that's okay. So those are gonna be my total, but he's gonna make his effect die pretty. See, he's trying to win, so he's going for the 6, not for the. He doesn't care about the effect die. It's gonna be a D8.
So what is he actually doing?
He is in your face and he is trying to push you out of the way. Physically push you out of the way. His hand is not on the hilt of his sword yet, but you could see it going there if you resist him.
Oh, that's what we want.
So your roll against me. You get to build up your dice pool, but you also get to add in that D8 for his blinded rage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead and build up your dice pool.
So gonna start with that.
What is the outcome that you want to happen? He wants you out of his way so that they can move on. What do you want?
Not only do I want to make it harder for him to quietly send his men on their way, obviously, to do their, the business they have in mind, but to make it a confrontation where it has to get it physical. But we're not starting the fight.
Right.
Because we have to be able to look His Majesty in the eye and tell him we did nothing of the sort.
Okay.
It's important. On my honor, I did not draw first.
Fair enough. All right. So go ahead and let's build this die pool up.
Okay.
So what things do you have on your sheet that can achieve that goal?
At this point, I'm gonna kind of play up the since I'm playing up the role to piss him off. I'm also gonna invoke my dramatis personae, my acting background,
Okay.
um, as a correlation.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna spend one of your plot points to. Are you gonna use that special effect, the correlation special effect,
That's what I was thinking about.
where you can bump up your attribute?
But I was trying to decide what I'd be bumping up. My guile is a D8, which is probably still what I'm using. Would I be bumping that up?
Yes, you would be bumping that up to a D10.
Yeah, let's see. So I step that one up. And still my soldier. It's a D10. And at this point, I guess I'm still depending on Psyche since he's not drawn that
so-
weapon yet.
So yeah, so here's the deal. You get that complication past a D12, conflict is going to happen whether he wants it to or not. He's going like
He's just gonna
you-
lose control.
He's gonna lose
his
control.
composure.
Yes.
Okay. Is that all my dice?
Do you have a special? Did you add your specialty in there?
Yeah, my specialty for
Psyche.
psych is a D8. Last time I did that as 2D6s instead.
Probably the D8's probably fine. You've got 4 dice
I
there.
think I would, yeah. Is
I
that
mean,
good?
yeah. Look at my total. My total's 6.
So
All right.
Oh wait.
So best on that's going to be a 13.
Oh, you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So that die cannot be used for your total or effect, and I'm going to give you back your plot point that you spent. And I'm going
Okay.
to I'm going to add a d6 to the doom pool.
So that makes my total to 13.
Oh, I'm
But,
sorry.
but
a
you know
D10.
he rolled a
I'm adding a
6.
d10 to the doom pool.
you could pick the 8 and have
If
the
you
D10.
take the 8, you can keep the D10 as your effect die.
Is that a good idea?
You know he rolled a 6.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you roll an 8, you
Oh,
beat him.
I just got to beat him.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
That's the advantage to going second.
As you see the result, and then you can
Okay.
choose accordingly.
So
You
what
know
do
what
I
you're
what do I
fighting
hit so I
against.
don't mess it up this time?
All right, so you're going to
Six.
select both the d8s with the little
Right, I did.
box, and then you're going
Checked
to do
dice are total.
yes.
Okay. So, but that's not the effect die I want.
Right now, for the effect die, you can just do the quick choice. Choose best effect because it'll choose whatever's left.
Geez, oh, there it is. It's like so.
Like so. So your d8 beats my d6. I mean, your total 8 beats my total 6, and your d10 beats my d8. So I can't lower your effect die down. But what you're going to do effectively here is you're going to raise his blinded by rage to a d10.
Nice.
I got to do better than that though.
So that's how your action happened.
But
Oh,
that
wait.
is that was me responding to his.
Oh, that
action.
was you responding to me. That's right.
Yeah.
So basically, okay. So no, it still stays. I'm sorry. It stays
Yeah,
at a D.
I didn't think that was going to change.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're fine. That's why I was wondering if my effect die mattered.
Well, it would matter if he had beaten you, because then whatever, like,
Oh,
That's
Right,
yeah.
but if I had picked the 13 instead and kept a D8, which is the same as his effect die, the 13 would have been more than 5 over his roll of 6. I didn't know if that would have been a better.
no, as a reaction,
Okay.
no. And that's where I
Right.
was confusing myself. You're
so just
doing a
beating it was the
reaction,
only
you're
thing we
not.
needed to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
That's
good
my
then.
fault.
That's it.
All right.
But you have to
so,
beat, not tie.
Right,
The
right,
red
right.
guard, there's like 3 of them. They're kind of like looking around, like, are we gonna fight or not? So they're going to kind of hold their action at this point. It is now Renee's turn.
Okay. So we've got Alphonse kind of blocking their exit out this hallway. We've got Auguste doing what he does. And they're kind of holding their thing. I'll kind of... I don't really know if I want to try to antagonize them more. I think Auguste is doing a pretty good job with that.
Right, but if you jump in and help him, you can get him there faster.
Okay. Trying to think what I would...
Start a conversation. That's usually annoying enough.
Ah!
I'm not there. I'm not there.
Yeah.
Wow. Brothers, am I right?
Right.
Yep.
Where's that second sense? Hey, we're going to start a fight. You want to join in?
Right.
My guile's really, not very good with that. I was trying to think if there's some way to get kind of my... I guess I could go in and see, he pushed or seemed to assault.
Well, he
Auguste at some
went
point
to push
and missed or something.
Eric, but Eric was able to kind of like just
Kinda
step out of the way
whatever.
a little bit,
Is that Auguste?
or brush it off
Yeah.
enough that it looked ineffective.
Auguste.
Auguste.
Yeah.
Auguste David.
I'm trying to
But
think.
he did
Coutois.
try to put a hand on your friend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably not enough though to really
Especially
fight
not
out
with
these
me.
guys. Yeah.
I was being pretty obnoxiously in his way.
Yeah. I guess I could try to antagonize the other guard members. Try to get them in on the, because they're kind of standing around at the moment trying to figure out like what they're gonna do.
Does the church teach you to be a bunch of passive dolts, or do you just come by it naturally?
I guess the other thing I could do is maybe try to trying to think this from like a battlefield perspective as a soldier. If I can try to ensure that the guards members are separated from their captain, might make them less effective when this thing kicks off. And that's kind of what Alphonse is trying to do.
Bolted to the ground.
Well, how do you want to achieve that?
I guess there's probably a table around. I guess I could come up and try to just do a little use my foot, slide the table kind of in between the two groups, kind of fizzing
sure.
a physical barrier there that they're going to have to go around or over or something.
So
if they
you're
wanna
going to
come.
try and create like
Kind
what
of
she
an
was
obstacle.
doing.
Yeah, kind of an obstacle to separate the two groups.
Okay.
And the table's less likely to be bolted to the ground.
So I'm guessing this is probably a vigor, as I'm trying to use my strength to kind of
Yep.
push a table in the way. I think I can make the argument that this is kind of my soldier kind of divide the forces, and they're going to be less effective in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't have anything, because this isn't really gadgeteering, so nothing else.
Do you have
I guess
acrobatics?
I guess I have acrobatics. Maybe I could push it and try to jump up on the table or something.
There you go.
Got to jump up on there, try to impose myself as the tallest one around, I guess.
I have the higher ground.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Don't do it. Okay.
So, which distinction are you going with?
I think I'm gonna do the all for one for all. We're really like we're gonna do this. Like we're gonna start a fight. We're gonna make them throw the first punch, as it were.
Why won't this
so we can
fight
do this.
start?
Come on, guys. We're trying to start.
We're really trying here, guys. All right. Everyone's trying to be professional. You're in the palace.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
very tense.
Called the Enterprise a garbage scowl. That'll usually start a fight.
All right. So let's go ahead and
Not enough
add up
Scotsman.
Okay.
all these dice.
So my vigor's a
So-
D8.
Yeah. Your distinction's a D8. Your
Distinction's a D8.
vigor. D8.
I'm using my
soldier.
soldier is a D10,
And then
and
your
my
acrobatics.
is a D6. Okay.
It's not a bad roll or a
Yeah.
bad dice pool. Go
Oh.
ahead and there we go. Yes, I'm gonna give you a plot point. I'm gonna add that D10 to my
Okay.
doom pool.
Sacre bleu.
All right.
So I'll go best total, and then best effect. Because I really need a 10 probably on my, otherwise it's just not going to work. So
Right. So, so like her, you're rolling a contest, not you're rolling a test,
test and
not
not
a contest.
contest.
So, I'm gonna build this up. So I'm gonna say the difficulty for moving a table. Like, are you going for like a small table, a large
Yeah,
table?
kind of like like a 4-person table or something like that. If there's,
Okay.
I'm not thinking like a big banquet table like I'm flipping over
Okay.
or something.
So
Not
so
a
I'll leave-
blockade. Just
the
a
the
distraction.
difficulty will be 2d6.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and spend a D10 out of the Doom pool and add it to here. Take that out. Oh my goodness. I cannot roll.
That's
All
okay.
right.
It's fine.
Well,
This makes it
yeah,
cooler.
so here's the really good thing about that. So you not only have your effect die as a D6, you're going to be 5
Over
higher than me. So you're going to raise that effect die to a D8. So we're going to create a scene complication. I keep typing on that. Okay. A scene complication of table obstacle D8. Now, in order to make this usable by other people, you have to spend a plot point. Right now, this is
more against them than for us, basically.
It's something you would have.
right. Yeah, so you won't be able to. It's there as a D8. It is a. I hate to call them complications. It's an asset. You created an asset.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, only you can use this asset against them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm standing on it, so it makes sense.
So let me call that an asset. Renee, asset.
So it's effectively the difference between him being able to use the table as a block and all of us being able to use the table as a block.
Right. So
Okay.
if you spend a plot point,
You
you
could
can
use
make
it.
this a group obstacle.
Right now.
Like anyone in your
okay.
group can use it. But it also opens it up to being an obstacle that they can use against you
us.
as well.
Whereas right now, it's just I can use it against them,
Right.
basically. Yeah, I'll probably keep it that way for now.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So you are last in the order. Who do you want to go first?
I'll have August go. Try to really get under this guy's craw some more.
Get it
Make
pissed
it
off.
happen.
Time to push him over the edge.
Yeah.
Step closer to the edge.
You've dumped the accelerant. You've lit the match. Now.
All right.
And he did just try to
I
like
s-
push you. I mean,
I still get my my D8 is still a D8, right?
The blinded by rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he is the target of your action, you can use it.
Oh.
And I have the D8 in my Dramatis Personae.
as you
I have the
fling some vicious insults.
D8 in my Guile.
See, the really nice thing about the complication is that's a complication on him. So anyone acting against him can use that complication.
Mhm.
That's the difference between that being a complication and what Renee made
Right.
as an
Yeah.
asset.
Makes sense.
I'm probably technically, rather than relying on my Dramatis Personae, my acting, I'm probably more focusing on my my approach at this point, because there's always that chance that things are going to go horribly wrong, and that's exciting.
All right.
But that's still a D8, of course. So,
flair
and
is different.
So the goal of this is you're just trying to make him lose himself, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Probably like
And-
extend that blinded by rage, kind of bump that up. Is that
D10
Kind of
for
what
the
that looked
soldier
like.
and a D8 for the psyche.
That's a good dice pool.
yeah?
You got looks good.
Cursing.
Let her rip.
It looks good to me. So go
3,
ahead and roll
4,
all those
yep.
dice.
Making sure I had it right.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh,
Vindication.
how many plot points do you have?
Let me double check. I have 2.
All right. So, yeah, you could definitely add all 3 of the highest numbers together
Mm-hmm.
and then still have a D8 effect.
Probably.
Though
they'll
you
probably get
kind of
bumped
want
up.
the D10 as the effect.
I was thinking that I could add the 8, 8, and 7 together. You get
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
You can get to
Pretty solid.
26 with both of them and still use the D10. Is that wait? Can you double? You can't double stack. What am I thinking?
What do you mean double stack?
He's talking about using an extra plot point
Using
and getting the
2
fourth
plot
die.
points.
You could spend more than 1 plot point.
I was saying, I don't know if you need to get 26.
I mean, the
It's up-
20. Yeah, the 23 is probably good enough. And then you've
23
got to.
is
It
probably-
depends on what he rolls, obviously.
Well, yeah,
Right.
yeah, but
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 you've
it's a
seen
plot
what
point
I've been
worth only
rolling all
bumping it
night.
up by
right,
3.
exactly the way he's been rolling. I think.
Yeah, but
pretty
he's been
well.
rolling bad too, and look at this roll.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
All right,
They
so
don't care about your dice.
so check.
There's,
There you go. There
that's
you
my
go.
result.
That's great. We're gonna
That's a-
keep that
yeah.
result.
Whoa!
I'm gonna remove all those dice. and I'm
I did
gonna
not
build
give
my
him
pool.
anything for the Doom pool for a change.
I know. I'm
Nice.
sad about that actually.
I'm
So
not.
proud of you, Eric.
Because he comes around and says, "Hey, I'm going to use this."
All right, so at this point he's angry. So
Yeah. That's what
um,
it says. And on top of that,
he's
your
now gonna
mother
use
said
his
tell you
distinction.
hi this morning.
He's gonna use his distinction, Cardinal's right hand. So he's like, I am the right hand of the Cardinal. You have to do what I say. You know, you're not gonna stop us.
And if things keep going the way they are, I will be your stepfather before you have a chance to go back to the cardinal and complain.
All right. So he's gonna actually use that in a bad way. So
Your mother said, "Mon Dieu."
by making that a D4, I get to add a D6 to the Doom pool. So he's gonna use his Yeah. This is his reaction to you. So, the best attribute to react to all of this flustering would probably be I can't justify anything else. I feel like faith in the fact that
He's doing the right
he's
thing.
doing what he's supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be a d6. It's a d4 and a d6. Keeping the commander d10, and I can't justify adding any of his specialties in here because this is a reaction roll. So
He's not even gonna come close.
no, which is great. This is great for you. So, yep. All right. So,
Oh.
He rolled a
Yeah.
1.
well,
Yeah.
here's the thing though. None of you have any complications on you or directed towards you by the scene. So that one is kind of wasted.
Ah, that's too bad.
Because that's all that one lets you do is you can lower current complications. But it's a 12 with the D4 effect is awful. You're gonna beat by 10. So your D10 is gonna be a D12. And I'm just, you know what? This probably isn't how this game is supposed to work, but I'm gonna let you just kind of
Push it
auto throw
over.
him into rage. Yeah, he's right there on the edge, and you just kind of push him over.
You're talking about his mother. I mean,
Because so the way the complication would work is the complication would become whatever the effect die is. So that would be the D12. But because you rolled so spectacularly, I'm just gonna rule that you push him into the fight. So he is going to be removed from the scene because he's just too angry to act. But he is going to
draw
he's
sword.
going to
and-
direct his underlings to attack you. And that's where we're at.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna remove that complication because
Because it only
he is
applied
out
to him.
he is out of the scene. In terms of you can't target him, he can't target you. And it is who do you want to go next?
I think
You were
them.
first of the round.
I say let them go. They'll draw swords and then we can.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll
All right. So, they are considered a mob. So they're a little bit different.
We are considered crowd control.
Yes, we are.
I'm considered a pod person.
Yes, you are.
Oh wait, huh? What? Was it that obvious?
Oh yeah. We were talking about it in the chat.
I believe. I mean, that's the whole point. I meant
Right,
it
yeah.
to be very obvious.
Well, for
It was
us,
just-
I mean, obviously our characters have no
Because in the
fucking clue.
movie, you see all these people become pod people.
Yeah.
I'm having a
No,
blast.
it just
In
happens.
one of the guys in the chat said, "Is your Smash said, oh, he keeps calling him the garage, Garrett the garage." So I said, anyone else think the garage is a pod person now? Everyone's like, "Yep, we're on that." And then
We're
he's
all
like,
there.
I
Everyone's there.
totally can't wait
And then
to
somewhere
put
down the line,
Renee
Rich
to
said-
one.
Rich
Oh,
says, "And now I'm a
yeah,
pod person."
Once we finish the scene, we're going to you. So we are running out of daylight, as it were.
Right.
But
No,
I don't
we're
mind running
good.
this longer if you guys want to. I don't know.
Good. I don't know how
Midnight's
much.
a hard
I don't
stop
know
for
how
you
late I
guys or
want to
not.
go. I'm already starting to pass, but yeah, no. We're having fun. Let's go. Let's roll.
All right. So I got 2d6 for the mob, and then I get to build out their attributes and stuff based off of that. So, they are trained soldiers. So that's d8. They are using courage to stand up to you. They are using their soldier.
Mhm.
So it's D8, D6, and D6. And then we're going to start the swashbuckling at D6. So 3D6 on top of what's already there, and a D8. That is their roll. So let me go ahead and roll all these dice. All right, so they are attacking all three of you. Now, what this is, there's a special effect that's basically called um, all area attack, but that it's not necessarily what it. I mean, they're all attacking
Mhm.
individual people, but you all are considered in the same role.
Right.
And actually, what I forgot to do is because I'm invoking that, because I like to invoke things, I'm going to add 2 more d6s because it's for every person in
Mhm.
additional to the first.
Yeah,
Makes
So I'm
sense.
gonna,
because
I'm
we're
gonna
probably gonna do
add
something
those.
similar, so it makes sense to.
All right. So let me build out my stuff here. 10.
Gotta decide how to.
I'm going to spend a
attribute them.
d6 from the Doom pool to make that a 15.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make the d8 my first effect. This is going to be on August.
Mm-hmm.
And then d6s, I get to choose for each additional target. I get to choose an additional d6. So you all have the same target number, but you all have different effect dice.
Okay.
So keep that roll. Okay, so all of you are going to build up a dice pool to defend them attacking you. Eric is getting the d8. Everyone else is getting the d6 as the effect die.
Okay.
All
So-
right, yeah. So as soon as he yelled attack, my sword slid from its scabbard.
Okay,
So,
so
ready.
we'll for reactions we'll start with Eric since he instigated this.
Sure.
We'll let you take the first
My other hand
reaction.
threw the bottle at a guy.
Throw a bottle at the guy.
Yeah, I was holding the wine bottle in the other hand. So
Empty,
Don't
probably
worry, it's
by
been
now.
empty for quite a while.
It was empty when he walked in the room.
Right. That's why we were
Not-
going to the
Not
kitchen.
long after, at least. Not long-
All right.
all right.
So
Does it make the bottle so small?
so you need me to build a dice pool then?
yes, I already saved it, so we can just clear that out.
Okay. And let's see. I'm obviously going to be looking at my excitement versus my ennui.
Yeah. So just remember, only Renee can use the table obstacle in his role.
Yep.
But
Right. So
but he can spend a plot point to make that usable
To-
by everyone
to slide it
anytime he
into the
feels
other
like
way.
you're doing it.
right.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Actually, we're all being attacked, so probably going to focus largely on one for all at this point. Obviously,
That's great.
as
Or
the distinction.
yeah, I think the only person who has a distinction that would work really well outside of that would be Renee, as the distinction is soldier. And by using that distinction, he can use a plot point to step up his attribute.
At this
by
point, I'm going to rely
connecting
on.
past.
I'm relying on my courage to carry me forth with my confidence as I throw the bottle and use the sword to deflect their attacks.
All right. So what are the
And-
dice that come with that?
That's a D10 for my courage, D10 for my soldier, D10 for my swashbuckling. Look good?
That looks good.
Or I could turn.
Did you want to change your
D10 to a
D10 into 2D8s?
That's
or
what I was just
3D6s?
thinking. That's not a bad idea.
That's a free. You don't have to spend a plot point to do that.
Yeah.
That's
That way, if you
called,
roll a one, you
multi-level specialties.
How do I do that?
That's
Step.
the rule I'm using.
just
Um,
drop a D10 and put.
So
2
you
D8s.
just select one and then hit remove,
Or step down, and then
or,
add
or
another
step
D8.
down and then add another D8. You can do
Yeah.
that too.
Okay. So that looks good.
That looks good.
Ah.
So to
Ah,
beat the
no
15,
ones.
though, I'll have to use a plot point.
You would. Yes.
You would, yes.
That would give you an
So-
18.
But throwing the
Yeah,
ball
now
will be
do
going.
Now
to
here's the
automatic
here's the
levels.
deal. So if you choose not to spend the plot point or don't have the plot point to spend, me beating you would just make the effect die would go into your shaken box of whatever attribute you're using as your reaction.
Well, I don't want to be doing that right now. I've got a plot point to spend, so
Make the magic happen.
yeah. So I'm gonna make that an 18 with a D10 for my effect die.
But that's what that
Nice.
shaken is that choice of consequence.
Yes, yes. And if that shaken ever if that number ever gets above your attribute rating, not equal, above. If it gets above it, then you are taken out of the scene. And that's called stricken.
Gotcha.
And
So
that
that's-
gives you your risk.
Yes, yes. All right, so we have a 18 with a D10. So the 18 is all that really matters at this point. So you're going to easily defend their attack. Let's do. Renee hasn't done anything in a while.
Okay.
You're defending against a 15 and a D6 effect.
D6. So same thing.
You can
Doing,
clear his out. We don't need to keep that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use all for one for all, because obviously we're all fighting together. So there's a D8.
If you need plot points, you can make it a D4. Just saying.
Yeah. I've got one at the moment. I think I'm okay with
Okay.
there. Probably using vigor, I'd say, as I pull my sword out and fighting with strength to try to overpower one of these guys.
That sounds good.
So that's a D8. Using soldier, which is a D10, and swashbuckle is a D10.
So
me
2d8s and
4
2d10s.
dice. Yeah, and I'll
Are you going to do the same thing that Eric did? Or are you
Yeah, I
gonna...
think I'm going to. That gives me more options if I want to spend a plot point to pick one up. So
4d8 and 1d10.
48 and 1d10. Yeah.
That's nice.
Excuse me.
Richard.
Damn.
In the chat, he says, "I think my all for one changed to one of us."
All right. Well,
Oh,
I
you're
got
rolling
my-
one.
Oh yes, I will give you a plot point for that,
Okay.
and I will add a d10 to my doom pool.
Well, I will
Oh.
spend a plot point to get up to 16.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
There goes my internet.
All right.
Don't
So
see
yeah.
that.
So as long as you beat the 15,
Okay,
then
yeah.
we're good. So we can go ahead and clear
That's what I was
out
trying to
that
Okay.
and let Alphonse roll. Oh, you know
Oh.
what? You didn't add in your table, but that's okay.
Oh.
Just would have beat it by a lot, probably.
You just tabled the table.
Yeah. I still beat it.
And
so
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that until I looked down at the sticky
No,
notes.
I forgot about it. I forgot about it. I was
It's
thinking about it right
It's
before.
a
and then I forgot about
defense
it.
too.
Only
It's
Renee can use
defending.
the table.
No, it's
Only
not.
Renee
It's
can use
attack.
the table.
You could push the table into them.
Only
as an
Renee
option.
I'm
can
also
use the table.
standing on the table, kind of, so I
He is also
got the high
standing on the
ground.
table.
Anyways, I defended, so that's all that matters at that point.
So what's going on, Alphonse? How are you defending this attack?
I lost my Cortexatron. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna be using the all for one for all
Oh,
as
no.
a benefit because I'm gonna need it.
Hooray!
Mostly because I don't think I have a specialty that'll actually help with this, but that's a whole other thing. Gonna use vigor, which is a D6. And soldier for a D8.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
Because you don't have swashbuckle, right? That was
How,
the-
how
I
many?
sure do not.
How many plot points do you have?
Got one.
You have one.
Mm-hmm.
You do have the option of, if you want to, adding in a secondary attribute that could also work in this situation, or or a secondary role by spending a plot point.
like
But
like you say, use courage or something to
Yeah.
add it. Use a plot point to add a second.
Yeah, sure. We'll use my plot point. Add up
All right.
courage. Be another
All right.
D6.
And it just gives you some more dice.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll all your dice.
Nice.
Well, no. Here's the deal. And now this is probably wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm
Okay.
giving you another plot point.
Okay.
No, actually, it's not going to work. But you are getting a plot point. You
Yay.
have to choose an effect. If you have a die to choose for an effect, you have to choose an effect. You can't default to the D4 if you have other dice to use.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you can't add 3 to your total.
No,
You
she
don't- you
rolled a
understand what I'm
1. Does
saying?
she get a plot point?
You only
for-
get 2 total dice and 1 effect die.
Mhm.
If you did, yeah. So if you had more dice, then you could
So
add
the
3.
answer is 11 with a D8,
Yes.
which is not enough to topple it.
However, it is a D8 versus a D6, so you're going to write D4 shaken in one of those 2 attributes.
Ah, hey, at least you get to pick.
Okay. And we're gonna put it in courage. And
So
I'm just writing D4 there.
here's how this works now.
Okay.
Whenever you roll that attribute, you get to add that D4 into your roll
Okay.
because it's a D4 and it has more chances for you to roll ones.
Oh.
If it were a D6, it would add into the opposites. D6 or higher would add into the opposition's roll. But because
Huh.
it's a D4, you get to roll it.
Okay.
And then
So-
if she rolls a 4,
What-
then
what is
Interesting.
what is your current rating in that attribute?
A current rating is a D6.
Okay. So that's good because that means if that's targeted and raised, as long as it's not raised past the, bumped up one step,
Mhm.
you're going to be okay. You'll stay in the scene.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then because that is considered a complication, it's stress, shaken
Mhm.
stress. If I roll ones, you can spend plot points to lower that down. And since it's a D4, it would take it away.
Nice. Cool.
So there's a lot of play there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So that would be my turn. Everyone is done. I'm gonna choose Alphonse to respond.
Okay. Alphonse is going to charge in. They drew on me. I draw back.
There you go.
So we will
You
go
are
back.
an artist. It is a drawing battle.
Ah!
Sounds kind of sketchy to me.
Oh.
and the puns
Hey,
fall down.
Yeah, I just killed it. Everyone's leaving now. Anyone who's left at this time is gone. It's just us.
Okay, we're gonna use that all for one for all again. And vigor for D6. And soldier for D8. Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna call that good.
All right. And your goal is to take out. You're trying to take out these soldiers, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
They threw the first blow. This is all the permission I need.
Fair enough. So at this point, it's probably best to just choose best total and best effect.
Okay.
Unless you want a higher effect die.
Nope.
Your total can go one less and have a higher effect die.
No, I'm okay with this.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to add in. So let's keep that result.
Yeah.
They are defending 2d6 for the mob. Courage to stand in your way, which would be d6. This is trained soldiers at d8, d6, d6. So okay, 1, 2, 3 d6 and a d8. And let's roll all my dice. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yay!
Holy!
Now look at
Wow.
this. So you have a plot point because you rolled a 1 last time.
I do have a plot
You
point.
spend that plot point and your shaking goes away.
I'm totally gonna spend a plot point to have my shake go away.
All right. So my 9 does not beat your 12. So you're going to remove one of their d6s. So they are now rolling at 1d6.
Uh,
All right. And I think Renee is the last one.
Yep. This time
So it
around.
would default to you.
yes.
So
And you can finish it.
yeah. So all for one for all. There's a D8. Vigor's a D8. Soldier's a D10. And Swashbuckle's a D10. I think I'll just stick with those this time around.
Add in the
Use the
table.
table.
Use
And
the
the table.
table.
So 3D8,
Renee, use the table.
2D10s.
The power of the table
Oh, man.
compels you.
Another one. Go figure. But I get a plot point, right? For rolling a one?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
You know what? Then I'll
And I
spend.
get a D10 to
I'll
my-
spend the plot point I have to pull in 3, so that gives me a 20. Yeah, I think that's how I want to do it. 20,
Oh, I
and
see
a
what
D
you're
and a
doing.
D10 for effect.
Grabbing all the 8s with the 10 for the effect. Good call. Me
Yeah,
like-
I'm not 100% sure because I haven't run the system that much. I don't think you can use plot points you just got.
Right, I had
do it.
one. I did have
Oh,
one
did you?
already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you do it anyway. I was just
Yeah.
letting the audience know that I don't
That-
think
right.
you can do that.
Oh, I rolled a 1. Hey, I'm gonna use a plot point. To...
Your individual play and
Which
house
is
rules
fine.
may vary.
It just replenished the one I just used, basically. So
Yeah.
that works.
All right. So let's. Oh God, I'm not gonna beat that. Keep those results. Oh, you already did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nope, that's fine.
Remove all dice. My 1d6.
Yay!
Trained soldier d8. Faith d6. Swashbuckling is a d6 and soldiers d6. So lots of 6s here. Let's see what they can roll.
Lots of ones.
Oh my goodness. All right, so no one else has any complications
Ah, you
No.
almost had a large straight.
on them. Almost.
So close.
But my 9 does not beat the 20,
Really?
No.
and it's way
Really?
out there. So you're gonna take all the rest of the soldiers out.
Okay.
Customers understood math like that.
So this conflict is now over. You guys have stopped the guard from going after
Mm-hmm.
the
Pod person. No.
pod person, the pod people.
You're gonna regret that.
The egg.
Casually,
All right.
casually
So-
tap swords with Alphonse and stow my blade.
Yep. Yep.
There you go. All right. So that
Oh, look
asset
here.
is only for the scene. So that's
A
gone.
work
now.
here, it is done.
To the
All right,
kitchen.
So let's get over to Christoph. All right. So unbeknownst to you, what's happening back there?
Right. I was gonna say I don't know what all you have planned, but I would let you know if you're doing some hand waving here to do something bigger at the end. I'm fine.
Okay. Well,
I had a lot of adventure at the very beginning. I loaded up a lot of rolls at the beginning.
okay.
It's up to
All
you.
right.
I just
Okay.
don't know
Well,
for
okay.
time.
Okay, that's fine. What I'll do then is, um, I'm gonna have, because you have agency. I'm not taking your agency away from you.
I
Uh,
also am enjoying all of this, including the possibility of losing some agency.
Right, but I want you to have a fighting chance.
Oh, okay.
So he
While
the
Richard doesn't care.
These guys, like, hello, the moron
know,
running me needs.
I know. Okay.
I'm gonna take over Renee's brain. Oh,
Okay.
I mean-
no, that's fine. If you really want me to do this, I can do
no,
this.
no. Let's do whatever you want to do. That's fine. I just wanted to give you options.
I hate taking away agency, but if you're giving it to me, I guess
I
it's
can
not
give it to
taking
you. I'm fine. Whatever makes the story roll. Because
Okay, you know what? You are
'Cause it's-
now.
I'm gonna
If
poop
it's-
up. I'm gonna
yeah.
poop out on you here soon. So I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
that's
want to
okay.
ruin the end.
Well, okay. So, just so you know, as a pod person, you are going to bump your vigor up by 1 step,
Woohoo!
and your reason's going to be lowered by 1 step,
So they pretty much just swapped.
basically. If that's how your sheet was.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. My 10 and my 8 became an 8 and a 10.
Your character would then become an NPC. And you would gain a couple special effects. But see, this is
Oh,
where I
you're
don't want to
fine.
do the hand waving. Because this is going to end up in a cliffhanger anyway. We're so late. You guys haven't picked up
It's
the clue.
Being kind of a horror scenario, cliffhangers and okay kind of.
Ah, okay.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You guys have, at this point, I mean, you guys got to roll, you guys got to play,
Mhm.
you guys got to do stuff. So
Yeah.
we can just kind of, if you want, we can just wrap it up on a cliffhanger.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah,
It's fine
that's
with me.
fine.
We know that we know what's happening.
Right.
And we've got to experience the system, and I'm really liking the system, and I wish I had the money in my bank account to buy it.
What I should have done is I should have went for less so that you guys could actually finish it, but I was hoping that we could move around, but
It's
because
fine. I'm seeing the story.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it went well.
so you'll become a pod person.
Don't have to worry about him
The-
anymore.
Changing my all for one for all for one of us. One of us.
One of us. The nighttime is the right time. Sorry, dude, where's my car at? Or
Yeah.
no, Clerks.
Yeah.
Clark.
It was the Clerks cartoon. Anyway, nighttime is the right time. So you're basically going to become this pod person. Renee is this pod person. The 2 people that went with you are becoming pod people. You find out that this thing is a slug kind of thing that crawled into the guy's ear.
Right.
That's how it
Mhm.
the bleeding. It knocked him unconscious because it was taking him over. And at night, it will leave him to lay eggs and then go back into him, and then he will then take those eggs and deposit them into other people.
That's not disturbing at all.
Not disturbing at all.
No,
course
no,
not.
nothing wrong with
Um,
that.
That's fine.
But it has all the attributes of a slug. Salt is how you kill it.
Ha!
Ah, nice.
Nice.
So killing the host doesn't kill the organism. You just kill the
Aw.
host. It can
Killing
leave
the
and
host
go
in the
somewhere.
kitchen, however, gets us closer.
Well,
That sucks. I was the saltiest of the players.
there you go.
Yeah, we were screwed.
Yeah, so by taking away his agency and just making him, he lost that ability to learn that clue.
That clue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why I was struggling. Do I want to take away the agency? Do I not want to take away the agency? But I did kind of plan this out to be a little bit longer than it should be, and that's on me.
No, that's
Um,
good.
Yeah.
Well, now you know, if you use the scenario again, you'll have a better idea what kind of time it takes. to
Right.
learn.
Well, this
And
is
we did
definitely not a
spend-
convention
We
scenario.
characterize.
We
and
spent
have a lot of
most
be
of
a
fun, too.
multi-session scenario.
It also, we spent most of an hour on character creation.
Yeah.
It's true.
Um,
That's true. But I wanted you guys to see how that worked because
Yeah.
the way
No, I
that
like
Yeah.
the way that I chose it
Mhm.
was pretty easy to kind of
Mhm.
all you had to do was like fate, think about what
Yeah.
you were and how things connected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I like
it.
that.
Yeah, it worked out great.
So as they said in the chat, you can buy this game, the book, directly from Atlas Games. They are the American distributor. Um, I think it's like $35 to $40, somewhere in that range. You can buy it either through them or through a local gaming store. So the
Mhm.
Burrow could probably get it for you through the Atlas channel.
Not sure. I'm trying to remember. I do believe I've seen. Yeah, because I've seen some of the Atlas board and card games on their shelf.
Yeah, Atlas
They,
games are almost everywhere.
Yeah, they're kind of a smaller store, so I had to kind of you got to kind of think about it. They don't get everything,
But
the
yeah, but Atlas has a big distribution, so
Channel. So
getting in. But you can order it directly, is what I'm saying. You can go to Atlas Games and buy it directly and have it sent to you. You can, if you don't want a physical book, you want to pay a lower price. I think you can buy the PDF at cortexrpg.com. I don't remember what that price is, but that gives you the PDF. Now, if you buy the hardcover, it comes with a code
or the PDFs.
to get the PDF for free
right. They do the
that you
brick
put
and mortar-
into the
brick and mortar
Cortex
exchange. I
Yeah.
like that.
Now, the people who run this fandom tabletop, so the people who do D&D Beyond,
Mm-hmm.
they own, like, they basically purchased Cortex
Mhm.
from Margaret Weiss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So all the old licenses, everything up to this point, is no longer available to buy unless you can find a secondhand book in a store somewhere.
Oh wow. Okay.
But you can not legally download PDFs for any of those systems anymore. But there are still, like, if you're into Firefly, if you're into Marvel, if you're into Leverage, those books are still kind of floating around. I have
Yeah.
I have the Leverage one
Leverage
somewhere.
and Marvel
Yeah.
behind me.
Yeah.
Um,
The Leverage one has some cool mechanics in it too. We never played.
that's
it.
all in here. Basically, they
Yeah.
took Cortex, everything from the past, and put it into one big thing
Modular system.
But you could
updated
pretty much
elements.
design any system with the stats you
Yeah,
need
if you
to go
want,
with
if you
what
want
your
to play
world
with hit
is.
points, you can play this game with hit points.
Yeah. No. I mean, okay.
Because the original Cortex used hit points and stuff like that. So they have there's a dial that you can turn to give you hit points. The Shaken and Stricken is a separate module that's added. It's like a stress track,
Mhm.
but different. You can just the default is straight complications. You build up complications, you get it above a D12, they're out of the scene. But we were doing that plus Shaken and Stricken.
Yeah.
That was the idea there, just to give you more avenues to get them out. Maybe you
Yeah.
can do one faster or something.
Oh
I
yeah.
do
'cause
like
it goes
the way
both
that-
ways.
I like the way the narrative scene structure gives you a lot of room to interpret what
Yeah,
you're
so
doing.
definitely.
distinctions are very important in this game.
Yeah, I see that.
Building good distinctions is key to adding, building your dice pool based off a narrative. Everything else is kind of just there to season the distinctions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this game.
Yeah,
I
had a lot of
ran
fun.
Marvel Heroic at the convention, TsunamiCon 2020. All my players had a good time. We actually finished that scenario.
Right. They talk less than we do.
No, there's also 3 of them and there's 4 of you, so we were able to get a
That'll
little bit
do it.
faster. But yeah, so it's a good game. I really enjoy it. I think Prime is a very good product. Eric, I am going to give you my code off of my physical book, so that if you want to run some kind of promotion or something during your show, Metagamers Anonymous and give it away, I will give you that code to give away.
Yeah, we can
So
do that.
someone can get a PDF. If you want to, I don't know if you're recording, you can see who is in the chat. If you want to go based off of who was watching and pick someone off of that,
Or make them email us.
or make them email you.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll discuss it after the show and decide how
Right.
how to go about it. I think
But yeah, I do have a
because
free
some of the
code.
people who were in the chat for a good chunk of it aren't there now. I mean, it was 4 hours,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
so I don't want to do anything arbitrary right this second.
Right. So, but I'm putting that in your hands to do whatever you want.
I'm thinking we can come up with something.
And yeah, so I think it's a great game. Being part of the Kickstarter, I got a PDF in addition to the core book, so my code
Right.
was an additional to give away.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate it, James.
I hope that wasn't too boring.
No, that's
no.
fun.
I hope I didn't ramble and make things more confusing.
I was concerned when we started out that the system was, even though it's simple, it was different enough that it might be difficult to explain and grasp in a short period. But once we gone through a couple of rounds of any
You
kind
saw
of
how
Yeah.
quickly I was picking it up. Yeah.
right. Well, you're not the best barometer. You pick things up easily. Yeah, I'm
Bastard.
talking about the listeners and stuff.
Okay.
And I think
just
it was important to have that Cortexatron visible.
Mhm. Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
people
It
can
did help.
follow what's going
that
on.
made a big
Definitely.
difference. That helped me to understand what was going on.
Oh,
I'm
if
not
you
so
tried
sure.
to explain to me just in words, totals, and effects without me seeing dice marked, I think I would not have gotten
Yeah,
it as fast.
unfortunately, the effect die doesn't mean a whole lot unless it's a contest
Mhm.
or you're
Right.
Knowing
trying
that.
to.
And building that and knowing what your options are, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to remind everybody, James is part of our podcasting network here with 1D Forecast, and they've been going longer than we have.
Oh
Joined us
God, yeah.
joined us
10
a few
years
years
now.
back, and you guys are still putting out episodes.
Yeah, we do an AP kind of showcase thing.
Yeah.
Now. We call it AP review.
I was to say it when I was looking when we started doing this, I thought it's a little similar to what
Yeah. So the
you know,
idea
it formatically comes off differently,
Right.
but-
Yeah. So the idea was we had started a Patreon back last year, and that fell through. It didn't pick up any steam.
Patreon's tough.
So
it's a
the
tough crowd.
idea was to do 2 hour or less segments of actual plays, and basically we would do a character session. We would do however many sessions it took to finish the scenario, and then we would do a post-mortem review.
Mhm.
So our show was a review show. That's how we started. We went through different systems, and
Which is why you tried so many of the different indie games and stuff, right?
yeah. So, but this is actually us trying new things or showcasing like Monica, who is in our in my podcast. She is a writer for Onyx Path. She is a game designer. She does a whole bunch of other stuff. She has a couple other podcasts that she's picked up along the way that she does. Gave her a chance to run Scion Second Edition, which she had a hand in creating.
Nice.
That's cool.
So it was a way to get people to try out new games that way. But the reason we went with the Patreon is the whole model was to allow Patreon subscribers to help us choose the next games that we play,
What you're gonna do?
and to
Right.
become special guests in our games as well. But it never picked up. That went from like September to December, and then I just called it and said we're done. Now it's totally open. I post a poll on the website that anyone can vote in. Right now we're doing Mistborn Adventures.
Ooh.
Based on the Sanderson books.
Yes.
I've heard good
And
things.
Steve is running that. He is a huge Mistborn fan. Actually, if you listen to the set, it has 2 session zeros. One is for character creation and one is for heist creation.
Interesting.
So it's
Now,
it's
I've never-
crazy complicated, but
I've never read any of the Mistborn stuff either.
me neither. Me neither.
I'm a fan of Sanderson's writing because I'm a Wheel of Time fanatic.
I also
I
finished
just
Wheel
know
of
from
Time.
Wheel
of
and
Time,
enjoyed that,
yes. Yeah.
And I was really impressed with how he finished up the series, and so I've been meaning. I've even got the Mistborn, the Mistborn trilogy. The first, I don't know how many he's done, but
I have
those
no
first
idea.
books, I've got them on Kindle. Just haven't made it that far. My reading list is a lot bigger than the time I've got to read.
My reading consists of RPG books these days, and any technical stuff I have to do for work.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really read novels outside of any. I don't really have time.
No,
to do any of that.
I've been trying. As a writer, I want to spend more time,
That makes sense.
indulging in the craft, but it is tough. But sometimes I find that, especially when I don't know where my story is going or how I want to handle things, that can help. Strangely,
Yeah.
just seeing other people do stuff sometimes, like, oh yeah, I can do this, and that'll get me back on the right track.
But yeah, so that's basically our show. We've turned into an AP like review kind of show where we give you a taste of the game, and then we do a honest review. Like, we break down the mechanics of the game, the setting of the game, and all that kind of stuff, and we just talk about what we liked and didn't like. And
well, what's important is you're still getting a chance to do what you guys enjoy.
right,
and
it's a different way. So
Right.
And outside of me, everyone else has been in pretty much all the other APs. I've been swamped with work and kids that I've been doing the editing. Katie and I have been doing the editing. I'm currently editing Mistborn. That's how I get to see what's going on in the game.
Right.
By editing it. And hopefully, I think once we finish up Mistborn, we're gonna tackle Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Good luck,
That
man.
was the next voted thing, and once we start that, there'll be another vote for what's coming next. I'll probably throw Cortex in there, do something different with it, and see what happens there. So, but it's totally listener driven. We do not have the listenership that we had at one point, because after 10 years, it just kind of goes away.
Is what it is.
Yeah,
We'll still try to remember to go back and add the links to the YouTube description here in a while. We'll forget, but we'll try to remember.
Well, we'll talk about this on the next episode. We'll try to record Metagamers this weekend. We'll talk about it on the show while it's still fresh in our mind, and then we can, we'll make sure to share
that
all
one
the
gets links.
I try. Yeah, that one. At
Well,
least
I appreciate you guys having me on. This was fun. I do fear that
blast.
I did too much, and
no, it's fine.
I feel like it took away some of the experience.
It did the important thing, which was give us a taste of the system and give us an idea of what we have a chance to take, our takeaway from that. We'll get a chance to discuss that a little more in depth. But the best thing about reaching out into our community and finding people that have experience with games that we don't has been getting to game with different people and getting to try stuff that we otherwise never would. Because you see, Richard, Vanessa, and I, probably even Ken, have a habit of collecting games and rule books and systems and stuff that
Nonsense.
never see the light of day. It's just like you have far more stuff than you're ever going to get to play or run, so you don't get around to running the stuff you don't know that much.
Yeah,
because that takes a lot more extra time to figure out, and a lot of times if you've never played it, I mean, as we all know, the best teaching method for RPGs
is sitting down and doing
always going to be sitting down and doing it with somebody else who knows the game.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I definitely appreciate it, and again, I'm sure we'll get a chance to do some more gaming down the road. The AP showcase has been kind of hit and miss since we got into the fall. It's been a little harder to get the time. I think people have been really kind of buried under other stuff, and we hit our fall convention season,
right?
And hit it kind of in the face. I'm in the middle of a convention this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm a special guest at Midwest Game Fest, and so I've been busy the last 2 days, and still got a couple of days of that. But
and I also run a convention.
Yep. And you guys, you have a plan.
Well, yeah,
it's tentative, I imagine.
Tentative. So Right now we're looking at May to do a online convention. It'll be our first online convention because we opted to just cancel out this year.
Right.
Um,
Right. Which you guys usually do around that time, right?
we usually do, yeah, May,
yeah.
April is our time frame.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because that's right before
Because we've never
game season and all that stuff happens, which affects my work. and
we
makes
never
me
made it out there
very unavailable.
because your convention is in what town?
Oh God. Right now it's in Shepherdstown, which is actually it's in West Virginia. I live in West Virginia. I moved there from Virginia.
I haven't actually, I don't know if anybody else has, but I haven't actually looked at in a while what kind of trip that would be. But when my wife and I go to conventions,
it's going to be quite a drive.
We don't
I know the
fly
drive.
because we take our tea with us.
Yeah.
I know the drive. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
not gonna be as
I'm on the east
East
side.
End.
So you're
Yeah,
probably
so
like 20
up in the
hours or
Panhandle?
something from here.
Uh-huh.
We're right there, right outside of DC.
So we've talked about it before, wanting to be able to come out and
Yeah,
spend the weekend up there
that's
with you
rough.
guys, and it's a
That's
hell of a trip.
That's a hell of a drive.
But we've gotten better at doing that. We've hit more Midwestern conventions. It's just a matter of figuring out the lay of the land, how to go.
I was
about it.
hoping to come out to your convention next year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But now that my actual convention is being pushed into the fall because our venue is closed until June.
I think when we are. So you guys are making that choice, fully cognizant.
Yeah, but I really don't have an option.
Yeah,
I know.
Outside of it.
So you guys are looking at what, Halloween, aren't you?
Yes, Halloween of next year. Yep.
Yeah, and so that'll only be like a couple weeks after us.
Yeah. See, when I get to November, that's my girl's birthday. December is my wife's birthday. Christmas, Thanksgiving, it all just compounds. So once I get past October, I'm done. I can't. It's hard for me to commit to anything.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's why we kept it in October. Yeah,
that's something for everybody to keep in mind if you're out there on the east side of the country. 1D4Con happens out there.
So next
West
time will be
Virginia.
virtual,
and that'll be something we can all do if we want to. So,
and then the physical convention is tentatively Halloween.
And similarly, we're looking at maybe doing a spring event as well. And you had mentioned that immediately when I brought it up, said this is when we're doing it. So
I hadn't announced it yet. You beat me to it.
Let's not get in a hurry. But you have a date, so that makes it easy for me to move around because we haven't.
I just chose the weekend that we would have chosen if our venue.
But we don't know when we're going to be able to do live conventions yet, so we don't know how things.
So the virtual convention may be the only one we do next year.
Well, I'll just see how things go.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm glad you came out to Tsunami-Con and ran a game. Glad you had a chance to do that.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was my first online convention running a game.
Yeah.
I did Gen Con, but I only did panels. I didn't actually play or watch it. I watched some games, but I didn't play in anything or run anything.
Oh wow. I think this Midwest Game Fest this weekend is my first online convention actually running a game too.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to do it at my convention. Spent the whole weekend
playing games at your convention. Who does that? Not us.
That's a complete fantasy.
Yeah. I usually get one game to run. I don't.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Remember that make sure you follow us at least. I was going to say subscribe. Subscribe if you want to. We don't mind the subs.
Use your Prime membership to subscribe to this.
Yeah, use your Prime membership to subscribe to Prismatics and but go ahead and make sure you follow us so that you know when we're on. We are going to try to keep doing this. It may be spotty because of the scheduling, but we'll try to let people know as much as we can ahead. And stay in tune with us on social media. If you want to keep following what we're doing on Twitch, tomorrow at 2:00. Actually, guys, I may need to talk to you about that. We might have to move it to Sunday, but we'll talk about it, and you'll get an announcement.
We'll figure out something through the usual channels. Gotcha.
Both of you that are listening now, we'll know. in any case, I want to remind everybody you can do that, and we try to do everything online now, everything live, so you can interact with us as much as we have the opportunity to interact with you. Obviously, our movie show isn't as good at that, but Metagamers Anonymous and of course the AB Showcase and everything else we do, we very much appreciate your involvement. Once again, thanks to James for 1D Forecast and Richard, Vanessa, Ken. Very much appreciate you guys being here this weekend. This was a lot of fun. It was great getting a chance to game with you guys.
Yep.
So until next time, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you around. Maybe we'll see you at Midwood Game Fest the rest of the weekend going on. If you're not there, look it up. There's games. So, have a good one.
Thank you very much.